Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is the morning of March 26th, 2024, and the big focus is on Baltimore, Maryland, the home city of Nancy Pelosi, who today turns 84 years old. And what I'm going to show you is how what has happened with the bridge is no accident at all. It's not an accident that it happened on Nancy Pelosi's birthday. It's a perfect ritual, and it's almost the exact same ritual as what happened a couple years ago when Joe Biden was going to speak in Pittsburgh about bridge infrastructure, and then a bridge collapsed on January 28th, 128. They're saying this bridge was taken down this morning at 1:28 a.m. And again, look at how perfect this is. Look at how perfect this ritual is, and look at how the media lies to you and the authorities lied to you. Look at this headline right here. No indication of terrorism or intent in Baltimore bridge collapse, police chief says. Again, I'm just so annoyed that I've been here for over a decade exposing this stuff, and the world hardly knows about it. And I'm sure almost no one in Baltimore will have a clue today about what's really happened to their city, this purposeful ritual and mass inconvenience, probably so some more taxpayer money can get handed out to the government's favorite contractor to rebuild the destruction. Anyway, look, you guys, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. Look at how perfect this is. If you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. This happens in Maryland. The 4 base ciphers are the alphabetic order with numerology applied. That's where Maryland is 34 instead of 88. The reverse alphabetic order, meaning running Z is 1 back to A is 26, where Maryland's 128. And the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. Now think about it. This bridge collapse happened at 1:28 a.m. That looks a lot like Maryland 128 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, but that would be the 88th minute of the day. So it comes down at the 88th minute of the day. And then Francis Scott Key, that's the name of the bridge, the actual Francis Scott Key, his birthday is August 1st, 8/1. From his birthday to today is exactly 34 weeks later on the nose, exactly 34 weeks. Maryland 34. And the bridge just celebrated its 47th birthday 3 days ago on March 23rd. The Francis Scott Key Bridge turned 47 years old. And if you're new here, we educate every day about how this is what's going on all over the world. These purposeful rituals from these psychopaths. And I always teach about 47. 47 is the time number. 47 represents time. Everything they do are rituals in time. That's why the time of this is so specific. The word time equates to 47. Again, the tropics of this earth are 47 degrees apart. And that said, let's look at the rest of this ritual because there's more to it. But again, just the 4 base ciphers of Maryland, every single number hits in the ritual. And let's not forget that if I just type in bridge collapse here alone, bridge collapse, you will see that it is also 128, right? And we talked about this because this happened on January 28th. The Fern Hollow Bridge collapsed in Pittsburgh the day that Biden was set to speak about the nation's infrastructure there. And just for the record, it was the Fern Hollow and Fern Hollow. Take a look. Fern Hollow, 128. The Fern Hollow Bridge collapsed on 128. Now we're in Baltimore at 1:28 a.m. And keep in mind, today is the 86th day of the leap year. 86 is a number of destruction. 86th means to get rid of. So this bridge got 86th today. The reason I have the Gematria of Frederick, Maryland up there is because that's where Francis Scott Key's from. Francis Scott Key's from Frederick, Maryland. So on the 86th day of the year, the bridge in his name gets 86th. It got Hiroshimaed. Okay. They're blaming it on Singapore. So the story, just to read the reporting, the Singaporean flagged cargo ship that struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore Tuesday altered course and veered toward a pillar shortly before impact, a CNN analyst of marine traffic ship tracking data confirms. It's unclear what caused the ship to crash into the bridge or why its lights were flickering. Again, this is what you get when you listen to the lying media every day. You just turn into GematriaEffectNews. We'll have it solved in 5 seconds every day. And again, it really did take 5 seconds for me once I saw that it happened at 1:28 a.m. It's just, this stuff's so transparent once you know what to look for. It's unclear what caused the ship to crash into the bridge or why its lights were flickering. CNN has reached out to the National Transportation Safety Board to inquire about a possible power failure. The container ship Dali, which was en route to Colombo, Sri Lanka, begins to change course toward the bridge's pillar at 1:26 a.m. local time, striking the bridge at 1:28 a.m. Eastern time, according to marine traffic data and video from the scene. So you have to think about how perfectly coordinated this attack is to make sure it hits at 1:28. The reason it changed course, all of this is intentional. Video from 1:25 a.m. Eastern time shows a plume of dark smoke billowing from the ship. Dali's lights flicker at least twice before the incident. In video, as it navigates down the Patapsco River, is it Patapsco? Sorry, I'm a West Coast guy. We don't have that river flowing out here. Anyhow, the ship's lights can be seen going out at 1:24 a.m. Eastern time before turning back on and then flickering off and on again between 1:26 a.m. Eastern time and 1:27 a.m. Eastern time, just before it hits the bridge. So it's important that it was just before 1:27 or just before 1:28 that they have to mention 1:27 in the article. Notice, oh, by the way, today again is Pelosi, who's from Baltimore. It's her 84th birthday today. If you're new here, 84 is a very special number. Of course, George Orwell has the book 1984 about a government that's always lying to its people. But United States of America has that gematria of 84. And what really runs this nation also has the gematria of 84, and that's the Catholic Church, which Nancy Pelosi is very much a member of. All of these things equal 84. United States of America, the Catholic Church, the Jesuit order, the word Jesuit alone, the word Masonry alone. Again, modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. These are the forces that run this nation. And just like they etch on the Masonic temple, all is number. So Nancy Pelosi, Catholic witch from Baltimore, no business in government, been senile since forever, just another high ritual on her birthday. Just like how she is a mockery of the people of the United States of America. And consider she's out where the other big famous bridge is, isn't she? She's out in the Bay Area in San Francisco. But anyhow, this is not an accident that it happens in her city on her birthday. And, you know, if rumors of World War aren't far off, you know that San Francisco, a city like that, would be a target. World War's never touched America before, but if it touched America, infrastructure and bridges are the first thing to get blown. So anyway, 84, her 84th birthday. But the thing about 1:27 a.m., look at the gematria of Francis Scott Key Bridge, 1:27. And, you know, just yesterday talking about 1:27 again. Of course, buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell on 9/11, and they called it the new Pearl Harbor. And Pearl Harbor happened on December 7th, 127. The whole ritual in Maui last year with the unexplained fire was a huge 127 ritual. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry also has that 127. And I didn't even do a video on this last night, but it was the last post on my website, GematriaEffect.news. The producer of The Perfect Storm, that movie from the early 2000s with Mark Wahlberg about the terrible storm that, you know, took the lives of that fishing crew. Just notice, you know, think about that, because that in that movie, they're in the water, right? They got to do a rescue for people in the water. That's the story this morning, right? The very next day, they're doing a rescue in the river in Baltimore, trying to look for people who fell off the bridge. But here's the point I'm going to make. Paula Weinstein, she died yesterday on 3/25 on her 127th day of her age. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 3/25, 127, right? Again, the Scottish Rite, the rites were written by Jesuit priests. Washington, D.C., the federal cities, the Jesuit Masonic city. She died 269 days after the anniversary of The Perfect Storm coming out. That's the 57th prime number. Remember, Andy Reid got his 269th win in Super Bowl 57 in the scripted NFL Super Bowl. And I'm going to get to where the Baltimore Ravens getting defeated on January 28th, 128, fits in with today's ritual because it's not an accident. But again, the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is responsible for the NFL. They're responsible for your government. They're responsible for your news. So just look at how perfect her ritual is. Dead at 78, 269 days after the anniversary of the film, the 57th prime, dead on 3/25 on her 127th day of her age. Again, these things aren't an accident. These are perfect rituals. 269 days, 57th prime. And, about the Diddy thing. Diddy with his Jesus piece for the Society of Jesus that runs it all. But again, we said when Clarence Avant died, 54 years after Sussex Records was established and the media put out the picture with him and Diddy and Jay-Z, we said, watch, it's going to be a real rough year for Diddy at age 54. And it's been Cassie, Lil Ron, now this. But if you missed my video yesterday on Diddy, the point is, it happened on 72 date numerology, and that also happened with the Lil Ron thing. But Jesuit orders 54 and 72, and it happened on the 143rd day of Diddy's age on 3/25. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry's 3/25 and 143 as well. And it happened on the 27th anniversary of Biggie's album coming out, Life After Death, which came out 16 days after he died. Biggie equals 39 like New York, shot on March 9th. But notice, Life After Death, 78 like Scottish Rite. And then on that same day, you got this Hollywood person dead at 78. And for the record, Jesuit equals 78, just like Scottish Rite. Just like how Jesuit's also 84 like Masonry. Again, forwards and backwards. But one of the songs on Life After Death is Kick in the Door. Kick in the Door, right? They kicked in the door at Diddy's house. Or actually, I guess they raided two of his places. It was the 27th anniversary of the album. Ritual equals 27, Miami equals 27. And that was the house that got the most attention, them raiding his Miami house. Miami and Ritual. And I think they also raided a house in California, which is probably a tribute to Biggie's song, Going Back to Cali. Anyway, I just want to make the point. Again, you learn this knowledge, you can see through all of the rituals and who's pulling the strings on all of these stories. And again, some stories are less consequential. Diddy's house being raided, a stunt that's a huge waste. I'm sure the bill on the taxpayer for the raided Diddy's properties probably cost the taxpayers a couple $100,000. It is consequential, but, Paula Weinstein gets her life taken in a ritual. That's more consequential. Several people lose their lives today with the cargo ship crash, and how many people are going to be inconvenienced and stuck in traffic all day and have their whole day messed up. And for a period of time too, right? It's going to take a while to fix the bridge. But again, for people who don't understand why they would do this, you guys, we are being phased out. What's driving the market right now? AI, the thing that's here to replace humanity. By Agenda 2030, they told us we'll own nothing and be happy by 2030. They want you to live in virtual reality land. They don't want you driving around. All of these little things are just little adjustments and tweaks they're making. I'm sure out of this, some people will figure out, maybe how to work from home. They don't ever want to be in a traffic jam again. But there's a method to the madness of everything that these people do. So anyway, let's keep on moving down the list of everything about the ritual today. In case you got here late, let's go back and recap the biggest point one more time. Again, the bridge collapsed at 1:28 a.m., the 88th minute of the day in Maryland. Again, Maryland's 1:28, like 1:28 a.m. Maryland's 88, like the 88th minute of the day. Again, Gematria is based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. With numerology, Maryland's 34. It collapses exactly 34 weeks after Francis Scott Key's August 1st birthday anniversary. And then the bridge just turned 47 years old 3 days before today. March 23rd, 2024 was the bridge's 47th birthday. And for the millionth time, what is 47? It's the time number. It's the ritual number. High ritual. That's why the building 7 on 9/11 had to fall 7 hours later, and they'd tell you it was 47 floors tall. Each floor, 47,000 square feet. The Solomon Brothers building, like all the secrets of masonry are in the Solomon's Temple, and the Masons study the 47th problem of Euclid. So again, 86th day of the year, Francis Scott Key's from Frederick, Maryland. It's Nancy Pelosi, the Catholic witch's birthday. Francis Scott Key Bridge 127. They got to make sure 127 a.m. is part of the story, that the lights were flashing at 127 right before it crashed in at 128. The Star Spangled Banner, what Francis Scott Key wrote, equals 88, like Maryland, like the bridge being crashed into at the 88th minute of the day. Again, bridge collapse equals 128. We just saw this ritual the other year on January 28th in Pittsburgh. And we can go back and revisit a little bit of that too. But yeah, the bridge was opened March 23rd, 1977. Named for amateur poet Francis Scott Key. From his August 1st birthday to today, exactly 34 weeks. Here, let me zoom it in to make sure everyone can read that. His birthday is August 1st. From that day to today, exactly 34 weeks. And if you counted the span of days, it becomes a span of 239 days rather than 238 days later. That's interesting because the flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street. So hopefully we don't get a paired event in Philadelphia here in the coming days. Again, the national anthem and the flag. And remember, again, for people who are new here, go back to the year that the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. In week 3 of that season, we called that Super Bowl because Trump took on the protesters of the flag on September 23rd, 23/9. 239 is the 52nd prime. That was the year of Super Bowl 52. But we already knew the Patriots are going to be in the Super Bowl before the season began. We were just looking for the NFC team. And we said, there it is. It's going to be all about the protest of the flag and the national anthem. Colin Kaepernick had his first protest on the 239th day of the year. Trump took office while the flag was 239 years old. Donald Trump's birthday is the same as the flag's birthday, June 14th. We said this is the ritual because, again, the president's just a puppet. Donald Trump just goes out and reads a script each day, just like he does when he does his Hollywood movies too, walking in the footsteps of Ronald Reagan on Mega, who was also a Hollywood actor. But again, you learn this code, you see how these guys are just nothing but puppets. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, all of them. And we said that day, we said, there it is. Eagles, Patriots. Boom, book it. And we said if the Eagles won that Super Bowl, Zach Ertz, number 86, would score the winning touchdown. And he did. And the reason we called that is because the Super Bowl was 86 days after Zach Ertz's birthday. And the national anthem had been adopted 86 years before that season. That whole season was about the flag and the national anthem. Today, from Francis Scott Key's death anniversary, January 11th, to today is 75 days later. The phrase order out of chaos equals 75. Again, that's the motto. They create the problem to come out and provide their solution. And I'm already hearing one of the things CNN's saying this morning. They're saying the bridge was not built with up-to-date standards because there's no barriers in front of the pillars. So they're saying when they rebuild it, they'll put those pillars there so this can never happen again. And I heard one guy come on and say it was a bit surprising that it wasn't built because in the time this bridge was built, a lot of bridges were already doing the barriers in front of the pillars. And just hearing that right there speaks to my point. I bet you anything, the day that bridge was built, the psychopaths who run this nation had already marked down this date in the future, 47 years from now, that they were going to do this. That's why it's so perfect. And for anyone who can't accept that, you need to pull your head out of your ass. I was talking about this in the interview we did yesterday with how long 9/11 was planned in advance. Again, in 1968, World Trade Center construction began in New York. 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. George W. Bush got out of Yale and Skull and Bones. 2001, A Space Odyssey came out. Planet of the Apes came out about a destroyed New York. The New York Jets' only Super Bowl winning season. Just like after 9/11, you get the Patriot Act, and then all of a sudden the Patriots are the greatest team. Tom Brady runs a 20-second 40, has no agility, but has all day in the pocket in the scripted NFL. Again, things are planned out. And like I was saying, it was planned out even longer than 1968 because what was popular in the movies at the time of 9/11? That Lord of the Rings series. And when was the book in that series written called The Two Towers? It was published on November 11th, 11/11, just like how 9/11 was all about 11. 11's the master number in numerology. New York's the 11th state. The buildings look like a massive 11. They were 110 stories tall, 110. Flight AA-11, the first to crash in. George Herbert Walker Bush former president, father of the current president at the time, gave the speech about a new world order, how a new world order will be realized. September 11th, 1990, 11 years to the day of the attack. But that book, The Two Towers, came out November 11th at the end of World War II. That's how long 9/11 was planned for. Half century in advance. Anyway, this 75 days after his death anniversary. Here's all the words that equal 75. Order out of chaos, order itself, new world order. All of those things equal 75. Huge number used again and again. And if you want to throw on some more 75s, Catholic Church equals 75. Roman Catholic equals 75. Baltimore is about the most Catholic city in America. And again, it's Nancy Pelosi's birthday. Symbolic. Again, for people don't understand, the original capital wasn't D.C. It was moved from Philadelphia to D.C. D.C. is where the Jesuits set up camp. Baltimore is a huge Jesuit stronghold as well. And the nation's inauguration day wasn't always January 20th. It was moved to that day because it's the 201st day of the year, and that's a huge number with the Jesuit history, too. That's why the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. But Catholic Church, 75. Roman Catholic, 75. Again, not an accident that 75 days later. Just more proof of who runs this nation and all the sick rituals we have to experience living here. If you count the span of days, it would become a span of 76 days, like DC's or Baltimore's on the 76th meridian west. We all know where 76 fits in with this nation's history. But yeah, again, like I'm always showing, sports, news, how it's all connected together. You know, Katrina destroys New Orleans. The government says it wasn't prepared, even though CNN was broadcasting a whole week in advance how it looked like how this storm could flood New Orleans, but then the feds were clueless. Didn't make any sense. But remember, after that happened, then the Saints win their first Super Bowl. And, of course, they win it over Archie Manning's son in the scripted NFL for extra mockery as Peyton Manning just lofting interceptions back to the Saints secondary. Atlanta gives up the 25-point lead on February 5th, 2/5 in the 97th NFL season, the 25th prime, where they move the touchback to 25 yards. Tom Brady becomes 5-2 in Super Bowls. They can be written 5-2 or 2-5. Then what happens? Then Interstate 85 collapses in Atlanta, like right after. After they collapse in the football game, then Interstate 85 collapses. National Football League in Gematria equals 85. Brady equals 85. I'm trying to remember what they did with Philadelphia last year. The interstate collapsed in Philly on, what was it, June 11th? Is that what day it was that it collapsed in Philly? And did the Eagles finish the year 11-6 in the regular season, losing to the Giants, who became 6-11? Whatever, it was something like that. And we saw it. We knew that there was going to be a huge upset there. The Giants were a big payout because this is what they're doing. So all you guys who come here and are like, oh, this is stupid, this is crazy. No, you're stupid. You should be on the short bus, okay? We've been proving this for a decade. So anyway, Baltimore collapsing at home to the Chiefs, and we knew it was lock city for the Chiefs to win this game. Baltimore had no chance. Baltimore fell to 5-8 versus the Chiefs. Andy Reid stayed on 58 losses with the Chiefs. The Chiefs became 5-8 in the wild card round to start this playoffs. But this game was all about 58, right before Super Bowl 58. And notice, from the collapse of Baltimore to the Chiefs in the scripted Super Bowl before Super Bowl 58 to this bridge collapse was 58 days later. Baltimore 58. Again and again, how we show this. Tragedy in cities, sports, ritual, numbers. Again, only short bus riders don't get it. And this nation is full of short bus riders. Case in point, if this nation wasn't full of short bus riders, nobody for 1 second would have been fooled by 9/11. It was literally impossible, everything about the 9/11 story. It's impossible for commercial jetliners to fly that fast at that low of altitude. Completely impossible. Those planes would disintegrate into dust from fire, like how the towers disintegrated into dust. So that's the first problem with the 9/11 story. Second problem, steel frame buildings can't collapse from fires. And for all the morons who are like, but planes hit the buildings. Well, a plane hit the Empire State Building during the time of World War II. Did it collapse? Nope. They just put out the fire, repaired the damage, building stood erect. Only 3 steel frame buildings to fall in history from fire all fell on 9/11 because you were lied to. just like you're being lied to this morning. And then it was all sports, too. 9/11, Patriot Act, Patriots. And remember, the New York Jets won their only Super Bowl the year that all the plan went into motion for 9/11 back in 1968. And then who wrecked Drew Bledsoe? Oh, that's right. It was the New York Jet, Mo Lewis. Get it? And he crashed into number 11, Drew Bledsoe, just like all the 11s on 9/11. And then here comes Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the Wolverine. All this stuff's a joke, you guys. Tom Brady's career's a joke. This story this morning's a joke. 9/11's a joke. Most of the American people are a joke. That's the real problem. And in a way, it's sad because we've been purposefully made dumb. We've been put in 13 years of slave school and had our life wasted where they fill our heads with crap like Christopher Columbus. And then, they're feeding you, what are they advertising you to eat? Sugar cereal, sugar smacks, put syrup on your cakes. Your brain's all full of shit. Your body's all full of shit. Your heart and mind's all full of shit because that's all it's been filled with from the religion. Again, here we are in the Catholic mega center. All the good Catholics, all the people get on their knees for the church that went and slaughtered all the people of the world. Believe in this story or else you're a bad person or we'll kill you. So people don't know what time it is. Can't put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, 58 days later. And here. Again, let's come back to the Gematria, the 4-base ciphers, because here was the other thing that was a lock about Kansas City beating Baltimore. You see how Baltimore's 41? You see how it's Baltimore's 41? Super Bowl's also 41, and Patrick Mahomes got his 41st career road win in that game. And then he went to the Super Bowl, and like I guaranteed my people, he'd throw at least 2 touchdowns to get to 41 in the postseason for his career, which he did. But Baltimore, 41. Now, did you see how you guys just lost your owner of your baseball team the other day? You see how he just dropped dead? Where did he go? Peter Angelos just drops dead on the 83rd day of the year. Now, remind me, Baltimore fans, is that the last time you guys won the World Series? Was it 83? Oh, it was, right? So the owner drops dead on the 83rd day of the year. And from 83 to 2024 is how many years later? Is it 41 years later? 41 years later. I'll show you another 41 word. It's the surname Key. Key's 41. Funny enough, the word lock is also 41. The lock and the key. That's what this knowledge is. It's the lock and the key. But Key 41 like Baltimore. So it's 41 years later. And he died at age 94. If you died at age 94, that means you died in your 95th year of life. And, before this last football season started, we knew the AFC Championship was going to be the Chiefs and the Ravens. It was the first Super Bowl ever on the Vatican's birthday. First ever Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday, and it was the 95th birthday of the Vatican. Baltimore and Kansas City had all the narratives to be in that AFC Championship game. And then KFC, of course, advanced by, or I call them KFC. KC advanced by the numbers. But remember what the over-under was set for that game, 47.5, and the final score was 25-22 on the Vatican's birthday. Vatican, 25 plus 22 is 47, right? All roads lead to Rome. '58's a big special number, too. It's why Donald Trump, it's why he was the apprentice. The apprentice is the first degree of Freemasonry, but Donald Trump announced from the 58-story Trump Tower that he was running for the 58th presidential election, and then he hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day, who's the Nationals announcer, and then Trump took office with the 115th Congress, and then the Nationals won the 115th World Series 138 days after Trump's birthday, when Donald Trump equals 138, and so does Nationals, and so does Dave Martinez, and so does Federal. Again, nothing but scripts, but 58's a big Freemasonry secret society number. American football is credited to the Freemason Walter Camp, the Scottish Rite Freemason, who was also a member of Skull and Bones at Yale. So, again, you just think about the builders. That's what historically the Masons were, the builders. They like to take down infrastructure by these Masonic codes because it's all high ritual. And again, they etch on the Masonic temple all his number. Now, here's the other kicker. They're blaming this on a Singaporean ship. He wasn't in the right country, didn't know where he was going. This is all part of the joke, too. Just think of George Herbert Walker Bush talking about that New World Order. Singaporean, that's the word they're using to describe the ship. Singaporean, 56 like Society of Jesus. Also the plural Freemasons equals 56. but so does Nancy Pelosi. And there's always a big 56 ritual on today, 26/3. That's because 263 is the 56th prime. And it looks like I forgot to put the screenshot in here. But today's the day in history back in 64, the only time in history that MLK and Malcolm X ever met. Black Lives Matter equals 56. Jesuit agenda, just like the Black Panthers were. That's why all the Black Panther meetings were originally in Catholic churches. That's why they painted a church street with Black Lives Matter on the 5th day of the 6th month. But anyway, 263 is the 56th prime number. So today on 26/3, a Singaporean ship crashes into the bridge on Pelosi's birthday, who's from Baltimore. I mean, if you think all this stuff's a coincidence, you're a special kind of special Olympian. But don't feel bad because you're there with the other 90-some percentile of the people who live in this nation. And again, that's why these people get away with this. Oh, well, I was watching the TV and the policeman said that there was nothing suspicious. Like, Eric, here's a medal. You're another special Olympian. Yeah, it makes me sick how dumb they've made people, man. Here, I'll tell you a little bit more about this Peter Angelos. Oh, speak of the devil, he died 263 days after his birthday. Peter Angelos, 56th. It's got to be a coincidence. I should get in the special metal business. I might be able to finally finance this work, take it to the platform it needs to be. Again, where's the million people that should be pledging $1 a month for this work so we can get GematriaEffectNews headquartered in every major city? GematriaEffectNews should have a station in Baltimore. You know, there should be people out there right now on the scene educating about all this. I save all my money for McDonald's. Give it all to the cable company. I pay $200 a month so I can watch the talking heads lie to me every day. I don't have $1 for the truth. And I was pointing out then how he died 56 days from this game. Again, and Mr. Angelos, as the article referred to him as, 104, like it was the 104th NFL season. Mr. Angelos, 41 like Baltimore, dead on the 83rd day of the year, 41 days after, or 41 years after Baltimore won their last World Series in 83. His full name, Peter George Angelos, 95 like Baltimore. Again, the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses. That's why Martin Luther King Jr., who assumed the name Martin Luther after the Protestant Reformation leader, was assassinated on the 95th day of 1968. And it's also why his son died this year, a week after what would have been MLK's 95th birthday. It's also why his supposed assassin, who didn't do it, died 95 days after MLK Day in the year he passed. Yeah, Baltimore, 1983. Dead on the 83rd day. Just such obvious ritual. And, you know, is this a good sign for Baltimore this year? Remember last year, Baltimore went 101-65 and then got beat down by the Rangers, which we weren't mad about because we put in a future for the Rangers with 50-1 odds on opening day of the season after their high ritual synced with George W. Bush, which we called out day one only for the 119th World Series to end on the 119th day of Bush's age after he threw out the first pitch. But again, just about this Baltimore-Philly connection, which goes with the national anthem and the flag. It is interesting that they went 101-65 last year, Baltimore. And the Rangers went right through Baltimore, and it was the Rangers opening day that smoked Philadelphia 11-7, 267 days after Bush's birthday when Philly's the 267 area code. The year prior to that, when the Niners lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship, when they didn't have a quarterback, the Niners stayed on 267 road franchise wins against Philly. Again, you learn area codes, you learn numbers, you pay attention to sports, you just see how rigged it is. But, yeah, part of me wonders, is part two of they got something planned for Philly? Philly did have the interstate collapse last year, I suppose. But, yeah, nothing but scripts. And here, I'll tell you one other thing. Francis Scott Key's birthday being 8-1. I forgot. Oh, shoot. I forgot what it was, actually. There's something about Bridges in 81 that I'm overlooking right now. But the word ritual has the 81 forwards and backwards. Francis Scott Key has that 8-1 birthday. And again, just if you're new here, you see how ritual is also 27 and 45. We just talked about what they did with Diddy yesterday. His house getting raided 27 years after Biggie's album Life After Death, which came out right after his death. And let's not forget, both of Biggie's albums were Ready to Die and Life After Death. It's like Tupac. You know, he talked a lot about death in his songs, and if he passes early, and Picture Him Rolling, and he did the music video, I Ain't Mad at You in Heaven, his last music video before he dies. He's in heaven. And then Scarface puts out the song Smile with him on the cross like he is on the Machiavelli album. And again, Tupac died on Caesar Borgia's birthday, which is where White Jesus comes from. And then Tupac Machiavelli album with Hail Mary on it. Can't get more Catholic than Hail Mary. Interscope Records, ran by a couple of Catholics. But again, they put out that album on Remember the 5th of November. Again, High Jesuit Day, the day they tried to blow up British Parliament. And this year you got Jesuit scumbags Biden and Trump at it again with the election on November 5th. Joe Biden's 81 years old right now. Supposedly got 81 million votes in the last election. Both President Biden and President Trump equal 81. Yesterday, the big drama for Trump having to likely forfeit assets 81 days from his birthday. But anyway, let's come back to this 2745 thing. Berlin Wall equals 45. And Donald Trump, Mr. Build a Wall, was called president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, and it was the 27th anniversary. So, again, just to remind, these ciphers, these numbers, these 4-base ciphers, you got to know them all because they're all used ritualistically over and over. And you'll see it again and again where all 4 matter. Again, just to close out where we began. Today's bridge collapse in Maryland at 1:28 a.m. Maryland's 1:28 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. 1:28 a.m. is the 88th minute of the day. Maryland is 88 when you run the alphabetic order forwards. The bridge collapsed exactly 34 weeks after Francis Scott Key's birthday. Maryland's 34 when you take the alphabetic order with numerology applied. And then the bridge collapsed 3 days after the 47th birthday of the bridge, which was March 23rd. It was established in 1927. It opened March 23rd, 1977. Again, 47 years later, it comes down. And this has been in my background for many years. What is 47? Learn about the Masons, the 47th problem of Euclid, why this nation's birthday is really the 4th day of the 7th month, why this number is used in high ritual all the time. Again, it's not an accident that Joe Biden gets selected after being in Washington, D.C., for example, for 47 years. The letters D.C. are 47. The word government, I can type with one hand, government is 47. Authority is 47. The authorities today telling you nothing suspicious. You know, that nickname for a cop 47, or a police officer. Republican 47. Democrat 47. White House. Again, here we are on Pelosi's birthday, speaking of Democrats. White House 47. The fake hammer story to Nancy Pelosi's husband, that was another nice number ritual in the not too distant past. President 47. Again, big number to the Masons. 47th problem of Euclid. DC, the Masonic city. Masons, the builders. This structure comes down in a obvious 47 ritual. The word time, 47. Here's another thing that is authority. News 47. The news coverage today. Oh, no indication of anything suspicious. No indication of intent. Just was an accident. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't an accident. Here, to remind you guys of this one. Joe Biden was going to Pittsburgh to talk infrastructure, and then boom, the bridge collapsed. And again, this was the Fern Hollow Bridge on January 28th, another 128. And it was right next to where the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting happened, if you recall that, which is also 128. And you might recall when that story happened, they talked about how they just had an active shooter drill there days before the shooting happened. Funny how often that happens. But anyway, bridge collapse, 128. I just wrote it out here. I didn't put up the actual screenshot. But again, the bridge that collapsed, Fern Hollow, 128. Oh, and there's that 56 again, too. Isn't that funny? Like today's 26/3, like 263, the 56 prime. Funny how the same numbers just show up over and over in these stories. So, and again, it's because these numbers are hallmarks of who's running the show. Like, remember in 2020 when they told you to stay home and put a muzzle over your face and get an experimental jab from the most sued companies in the history of the world for wrongful death and injury? Remember, everything was 56. Everything was 56. Here, I'm not going to type it all out, but I'll tell you all the 56s one more time. First of all, the virus was 56. Anthony Fauci equals 56. Gavin Newsom equals 56. 2020 was 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began at Fordham in 64. Cuomo, the governor of New York, and his brother was on CNN. His brother's name equals 56, but Cuomo was the 56th governor of New York, went to Fordham. Again, the first case in the world outside of China was in Seattle, and Jenny Durkin was the 56th mayor of Seattle, Jesuit educated. Gavin Newsom equals 56. Gavin Newsom was the first governor to lock down a state, saying 56% will get the virus in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. Again, you just pay attention. You'll see how the same numbers show up over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It's why this nation had 56 signers on the Declaration of Independence. That's who's been running this nation the whole damn time. Again, Society of Jesus equals 56. And that's where it all starts. That's the foundation, the religion. They gotta make you believe or else from a young age. You better believe this Jesus story. You're gonna burn in hell forever. You better believe there's terrorists out there, and you better give up your rights and liberties, or you're gonna die next, like they did in the World Trade Center. And let's not forget the three planes that hit targets on 9/11, Flight 11, 77, and 175. That adds up to 263. That's not an accident. That's not an accident at all. Nope. And then, one of them was in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. equals 56, just like Society of Jesus, like Anthony Fauci. Going with those 56 signers. Freemasons, the plural. Here. Freemasons, the plural's got the 56 too. The Jesuits and the Masons. That's what runs the nation. Jesuits gave us the calendar, the language, built modern Freemasonry, came over and hijacked this nation right from the beginning, just like certain founders were worried about, like Jefferson and Adams, who died on the same day on the nation's birthday, July 4th, 1826. And then 1,826 days later, Monroe died on July 4th, who also didn't like the Catholic Church. Go figure. Go figure. I mean, just look at the photo. Look at the look on their faces. They know they're lying to the people. Probably went over the script last night down at the lodge. What are you going to say in the morning? We'll just say, all indications say it was an accident. All right. Well, anyway, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Actually, here, I'll do one more thing. If there's anybody out there that has some additional information to add, here, we'll see if anybody has any additional information to add. I'll drop the link in the chat. If you got different information, feel free to hit the link and join the stream. And maybe you saw something. Maybe you're in Baltimore. Maybe you're aware of something else. Give it a few more minutes here to see if anybody has additional information. And, last night, I just wanted to see if my video on Diddy was popping up in the feed anywhere. All that was popping up were all the mainstream things. And, of course, Tim Pool. Tim Pool had like 60,000 people in his live stream. It drives me nuts that, like, I hate how controlled everything is, man. It's just like the internet. Once upon a time, we thought it was the way to, to do something if you're not in the cabal, if you're not in the Hollywood club, if you're not in the mainstream club. But they've just turned the internet into the same thing. You got to, like, Tim Pool with a close-up last night on his face with his methed out teeth, talking nothing about nothing, speculating that the story's real with Diddy. It's just like, how are 60,000 people turned into this trash? They like looking at this meth head's face, talking about nothing. Come watch our channel. We got all the facts. And once upon a time, for people who don't know, we did get big views. There was once upon a time where this channel wasn't destroyed by the algorithm, and a video like this might have gotten upwards of 1 million views. I'll be lucky if it ends up getting 5,000 views here in 2024. Algorithm just feeds everybody to Tim Pool's methed out mouth. All right. Here, I'll do one other thing. I got to switch over my audio. Some people would rather just call in than hit the link for whatever reason. Here, if you guys want to call in, we'll see if we got anybody that has any additional information. But the first moment somebody calls in off topic, we're just going to wrap it up because that's what drives me nuts. Like, hey, Zach, like, okay, can we talk about the actual topic? D26 just came in the room and dropped out. D26, feel free to come on. All right. Let me see. I got to turn on the phone line and switch over the speaker so if people call in, you can hear them. Okay. All right. I switched the speaker. Does anybody else have additional information? Oh, you're having mic issues. I see. A broken bridge in a dream. Okay, I'm going to check it out. A broken bridge and a dream. It's funny because today's the anniversary of, again, MLK meeting Malcolm X in 64. 60 years ago today. Oh, the name of the ship is Dali. Oh my God, this book's by Salvador Dali, and the name of the ship is Dali. God. Oh my God, man. Nothing but jokes, you guys. Nothing but jokes from the cabal. What's up, 619? 619. Hello?
Hello?
You're on.
Hey, I have a question. Have you ever heard of Low Value Mail?
What?
It's a show on YouTube by Danny Polstruck. You should go on there.
What's it called?
It's called Low Value Mail, MAIL.
Okay, Low Valley Mail.
Danny Polstruck is a comedian in New York City, and he usually has like conspiracy guys on and stuff. And I think you'd be a hero on the show.
Okay, I'm having trouble finding his channel. Low Valley Mail. I don't see anything coming up.
Here, I'll type it in the chat for you.
Okay.
Boom, in the chat. Yeah, this Dali thing. The ship's called Dali, spelled the same, D-A-L-I?
It's just so obvious. The Broken Bridge in the Dream by Salvador Dali. The title of the book equals 128, like this thing hit the bridge at 128, and the name of the ship is Dali. I mean, this is just total mockery.
It's a painting, not a book, but yeah.
Oh, you're right. It is a painting. Okay, but yeah, still the name of the painting and the artist. Yeah, okay.
I tried to check that out, but yeah, have a good day, man.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I spot your comment. Low value mail. Okay, low value mail. I got it. Value, not valley. All right, appreciate it. I'll look into it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
All right, here. So now that we know that this painting is part of the predictive program, you know what's funny? I'm pretty sure 1945 is the same year that the book The Two Towers came out at the end of the war on November 11th. Again, this is how long things are planned out. And that's just like I was saying, the day they built that bridge, how perfect this all lines up. I bet you they had this date marked on the calendar. I bet you when they built the bridge, not even a bet, I already know that this was the plan all along. So hold on. Let's look at Salvador Dali real quick in light of how he might line up with this. He died at age 84. Okay? Today's Pelosi's 84th birthday. We were talking about how significant 84 is. May 11th was his birthday. January 23rd was his date of death. Well, we're on the 86th day of the year, right? So today is 83 days after his death anniversary. Well, that's easy because collapse is 83. So the bridge collapses 83 days after his death anniversary. And May 11th, let me think. Today is what? The 26th. So we got 5 days left in the month, 30 days in April, and then 11 days in May. So his upcoming birthday anniversary is 46 days later. And that's interesting because that's the sacrifice code. People are dead from this. Sacrifice is 46, just like Genesis 46 begins with the sacrifice. Yesterday, we were just talking about what they did with the United Nations stopping the war in Gaza on the 85th day of the year after it began on the day leaving 85 days left in the year. This meaning they stopped the sacrifice of the Gazans 170 days after it began. And sacrifice is also 73 like Gaza. And you go back, I was documenting the whole week up to Israel's 73rd birthday back in 2021. They were bombing the shit out of Gaza, all high ritual. But wow, this Salvador, I'm glad I opened it up for this contribution. Whoever figured that out, great job on a broken bridge and a dream. And shame on all the fake truth community that gets all the ratings that never covers any of this and just puts out useless speculation and bullshit, which people would rather listen to. We've had this thing solved for over a decade, and the world still doesn't know. All right, let's bring on the man of the hour, D26. What's up, D26?
First of all, I just want to test: is my mic audible? Is my mic working?
You sound good.
All right. So yeah, I just called in mainly to talk about the connection with the Salvador Dali. On the Wikipedia page, it says a lot of things. First of all, it's 46 days before his birthday. Salvador Dali equals 46, as well as sacrifice equals 46.
Yeah, so there's the other 46 piece. I didn't even get to that yet. Salvador Dali, 46, unbelievable. Yeah.
And the guy, he was also called he was a famous Spanish artist. So Spanish artist equals 56. Ship, the word ship equals 56, and the clearance of the bridge was 56 meters. The other thing that Salvador Dali he
hold on.
shares
Let me make sure I got it all right. All right. Ship 56. You're saying the bridge that collapsed today, the clearance was 56 meters?
You can look it up on the Wikipedia. It says that citation is needed. So
unbelievable. Sure. Again, you guys, it's 26/3, 263, the 56 prime. Nancy Pelosi's birthday, who's from Baltimore. Unbelievable. Again, she's 84. Salvador Dali died at 84. Okay.
Well, since you decoded that, could you just go back to that page? Where could you go back to that decode? We said Nancy Pelosi equals 52 and 56.
I just got to point out too that the clearance is also 185. Just talking about how important that was to the destruction of the World Trade Centers. Now that's a big Catholic number too. But what do you want me to go back to?
You said Nancy Pelosi has a relation that it's 56 as well.
Yeah, her name is 56. Today's her birthday.
Notice how it's also 52, just like ship.
Yeah. Her name is also 52.
52 years since the construction began.
Yeah.
It began in 72.
Makes too much sense. In 72. Okay, so think about that. So in 72 is the year that Joe Biden became senator-elect, right? And he's 81 years old right now, and President Biden's 81. And he was going to speak in Pittsburgh. And by the way, when I remember what it was. Now it just came back to my mind. That collapse in Pittsburgh was also synced with the Steelers football season. But Pittsburgh Steelers is 81. And again, the Pittsburgh bridge collapsed when President Biden was there to talk infrastructure. And again, Steelers named after Steel, the Steel City. But President Biden's 72 forwards, 81 in reverse. Of course, 144, like Georgetown simulated he'd win the election 144 days before it happened. But so this all of this stuff is one big ongoing narrative. And remember, my prediction from when Joe Biden took office, well, not only did we call that he would be number 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, because Catholic's 46, and the only other Catholic president got smoked at age 46. But the day he took office, we had TFR around that time, and I put out my prediction that day that I thought he would leave office early around June 1st, 2024, when he's 81 years old and Kamala's 59. It remains to be seen if that's true, but this could be a little bit of a sign here. This bridge where construction began in 72, the year he became senator-elect, this could be a sign. So we'll see. Oh, here, I'll tell you one other thing, because Nancy Pelosi is government in California in the Bay Area. And I remember they put up the suicide net on the Golden Gate Bridge the day before Biden's 81st birthday. So I thought that was weird. The suicide net officially went up the day before Biden's 81st birthday. Golden Gate Bridge is also 81. Golden Gate Bridge 81 in light of Francis Scott Key being born August 1st. So Golden Gate Bridge 81 forwards and backwards. Again, Nancy Pelosi from Baltimore. politician out in the Bay Area in San Francisco. Go ahead, D26. What else you got?
I'll come back to your prediction with Joe Biden on June 1st. But before that, if you checked out the private chat on the StreamYard, you brought up the painting, right? I was going to that was the first thing I was going to decode. I was going to bring up, and hats off to the person who mentioned that before me in the chat. The broken bridge and the dream equates to 128.
No, yeah, we just hit that. How the name of the painting is 128. Going with Maryland 128, bridge claps 128. It hits the bridge at 128. I mean, this is a crazy ritual.
Now this might be far fetched, but if you notice the time code of when the lights goes off at 124 and 127 respectively, if you add these numbers, that equals 251, just like ritual sacrifice.
Well, let's also keep in mind that 124 is the 84th minute of the day, right? Because you're right, that's where the time thing starts in the story. Again, Pelosi's 84th birthday, Salvador Dali dead at 84.
And also, Salvador Dali was born on Georgetown's birthday. In light of that, his full name equals 643, which is the 117th prime, like CI's full name equals 117.
And I just thought of one other thing. The painting will turn 79 years old this year. I don't know if it already turned 79 or if it's later this year. It's either 78 years old or 79 right now, if it hasn't turned 79 yet. But again, Jesuit is 78 and Society of Jesus is 79. And in light of this being synced up with the Ravens season, Ravens also has the 79 connection. And they did the craziest rituals last year with the Ravens and Edgar Allan Poe, who the team's named after. Yeah, I'll just skip that for now. But go ahead.
I was going to. So there are two things leading up to one thing which is related to January 20th. Apparently, on the CDC's website, I was just like going through some old websites. They have changed the date of the first case in US to 20th of January. I guess. Could you just look it up by COVID timeline? And I think they have changed that date from 21st of Jan to 20th
Yeah,
of Jan.
it doesn't matter that we know why they changed the date to the 201 date. But we all know in history it was January 21st. I mean, we were here living it, and that's what Wikipedia does all the time. They're always changing information as time goes on, but we get the January 20th joke. So okay.
Yeah, I think this is not on the Wikipedia. I think this is on the CDC's official timeline page. But at least they have not changed the date of the day COVID was announced. And in light of that, I will talk about that COVID again. That's a different. I will just get distracted with that COVID thought. But since you mentioned about June 1st is the date you're thinking that might be the day Biden might kick the bucket. If you remember, I called you last year about in probably 2 years back in 2022 about a show called Manifest on Netflix about a plane that travels forward in time for 5.5 years. It's called Manifest on Netflix. So there's the world ending date called it's on 2nd of June 2024. What's interesting is that 2nd of June 2024 is the 1229th day of Biden's oath of office. From January 20th,
That
2021.
was the whole reason I predicted June 1st, because it's 1,229 days later. That was the whole point of the prediction. And also it has the 152 connection, which goes with Biden and Kamala as well. So yeah, that's why I picked that day.
But no, I just want to make a small clarification. In the show, it has June 2nd, 2024, and June 1st will be the date including the end date, something like that. And regarding one of those other things that I found out, I'm making this infographic like I made for Albert Pike. In case you must have decoded this, but the Queen died 911 days after COVID was announced, declared as a pandemic.
Say that one more time.
The Queen Elizabeth II she died on 8th of September. That was 911 days since COVID
the pandemic was declared, and it was 201 days after her COVID diagnosis. Like
COVID diagnosis, yes.
Twin Towers became 0 towers before they eventually became One World Trade Center again. You guys haven't read my last book, Number Games. It's all about how 9/11 and COVID were so perfectly synced and have all the same numbers in the ritual. And again, by understanding this, you can see who's pulling the strings on all these events.
And just last thing, her birthday was also like a dualism with 9/11. That 9/11 was the day leaving 111 days of the year, and she was born on the 111th day of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. R.I.P.
One,
Prince. Prince had the hit
one
song "I Would Die for You." Number 4, letter U. Use the 21st letter. He dies on 4/21 on the Queen's birthday. Is Prince?
one last thing regarding this bridge collapse. It's as we said that 11th of May, Salvador Dali's birthday. That's 132nd day of 131st day of the year. Just like United States of America equals 132, and White House has 132 rooms in 132 rooms in White House. So that is another relation. But that's it. I won't go beyond this. I think that's it. If I do find out anything else, I'll probably post it on Twitter.
All right. Keep up the great work,
You too.
D26. Great finds as always.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. All right. All the way from India. So, yeah. The big brains on D26 remind us when you go to big tech land, whether you're in California, big tech land, Seattle, big tech land. Now Portland's even becoming big tech land. You don't see many Americans working there. The highest paying jobs in the U.S., you don't see many Americans working there. We're too retarded. Bunch of Indians work there. And, that's the other thing, too. Just like all this money for taxes for more schools. It's like in India, they like go to school in a cardboard box. Their schools are like cardboard boxes. Hardly any budget. In America, well, we need more tax money for more schools so we can churn out even more retards. Again, we got to wake up in America to how dumb we are. Like, why are we so dumb? Why is it that the people who live here aren't capable of the best jobs in the land? There are some Americans that work at big tech, but it's a very small percentage of people. It's a huge percentage of Indians, Chinese, even Russians. In the U.S., we grew up thinking Russia's some, stupid communist nation. Well, looks like they're smarter than us, too, because there's more Russians working at big tech than there are actual Americans. So, no, we were lied to, you guys. I remember when I was a kid, I was in school in the 80s and 90s. I remember how we would learn how we were lucky that we weren't Chinese because they're going to school all year round and their school day is way longer. Well, it's like, well, damn, in a way, I wish they would have done that for us so we could have been smarter by the time we graduated as teenagers and actually gotten a good job. You know what I mean? Hard work pays off. Of course, D26, thanks for coming on, buddy. All right, we didn't have any other calls, but you know what? I don't think we need to say anymore. I think we got it all here. The ship Dali. See how they just mock us, you guys? Like I always explain, everything's a number ritual. Everything is tributes to history. And keep in mind, 1945 is when the World War ended, right? 1945 is when the World War ended. All these rumors of war. Like I was just saying, the Pelosi connection from the Bay Area. So much predicted programming for the Golden Gate Bridge to be destroyed. And the only way I really see that happening is if World War comes to the U.S., because then the bridge would be a target. They blow up bridges when wars happen. Again, they cut off the infrastructure. But, again, Golden Gate Bridge 81, Biden's 81, Pelosi, Biden, these old Catholic things that shouldn't be there. They're only there because this nation's a joke. It's all symbolic. Just like old, decrepit infrastructure. See, that's the other thing I've actually wondered about in America for a long time now. If you read about other nations, in terms of Western nations, we have the worst infrastructure right now. We have the most outdated infrastructure. No other nation in the West has infrastructure nearly as old as ours. We're old. We're old. Everything. The trains, the rail, the bridges. We're the worst in the West. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? Like, why is that? Are they planning to bring the bulldozers here and just smash everything down with some world war? Then maybe they'll rebuild it. You see how fast they can put up a brand new state-of-the-art engineering with these cities they're building in the Middle East and China? So what's going on in America? The great freedom. Again, the only part of that word freedom that matters is the end part, dumb. You got to be real dumb to think you're free in America. Were you free? When were you ever free in America? Were you free to choose to go to your 13 years of slave school and pledge to the 13 stripes? I remember having that freedom. I remember thinking that this all seemed pretty dumb to think I was free when I was a kid. I was like, I don't feel free at all. Who's this person here telling me I got to pledge to this flag? I don't understand these words in this. I'm not pledging to this. My mom told me that our government kills brown people all over the world for no reason, and she was right. I'm not pledging to that flag. You ever notice how all these superpowers of the world all have the same colors in their flag, red, white, and blue? Russia's evil. Their flag looks almost the exact same as ours. We got free from those bad British people. Their flag looks almost the exact same as ours. People are a special kind of dumb is the problem here. If you don't like the way I rant about reality, go back and listen to the frauds. This is a truth channel. Something needs to be done about how dumb people are. Otherwise, ain't nothing changing. All right. So again, hey, had this been a zoom in on Tim Pool's mouth with his cracked out teeth with nothing but bullshit, we probably would have raised about $500,000 in super chats. But thank you for helping us raise $13. It's better than nothing. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Just love the morning stream. Obviously, real quickly, first NBA game today is Golden State, and also OKC plays today. So obviously, those are tied in with the bridge ritual.
Okay, I get the OKC bombing destruction thing. Are you saying that's who they play today?
No, Golden State plays Miami, but I'm saying Golden State, Golden Gate. You know,
I totally get the Warriors connection. That's Pelosi land. They got the bridge on the symbol. Help me out with the Thunder, though. I'm struggling with the Thunder right now.
I'm just thinking, just because of the ritual of the bombing and all that. You know,
okay.
That ties into it. You know, when I look at the schedule, I figure there's going to be all bridge tie-ins to who's playing today. There's a small slate. It's only 4 games. You know, so I mean, I'm sure you'll check more into it later, and you know, but I just figured that's obviously all tying into it. You know.
I agree. They're going to do something with the Warriors game. The Wizards aren't playing today. They're the closest team to Baltimore. Yeah. The Diddy, they kicking in the door at his house in Miami on the anniversary of the Biggie album. So see if somehow all these things.
Warriors are playing Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm just like, Miami with all the water down there must be some bridges. Think about it.
I was trying to get back to work, man. I'm listening, man. It's just good shit, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Eric. Take care.
All right, bro.
Yeah, there's always a sports parallel. So here, let me see what the latest is before we wrap this thing up. What's the latest? Governor, ship's crew issued Mayday before hitting bridge. Well, I'll keep that in mind in light of May just being around the corner. Of course, the Illuminati's birthday is May 1st. See if they got another whopper for us this year in sports on May 1st. Again, you guys, last year, May 1st, the Illuminati's 247th birthday. Go back and check the line for the game before the game. 76ers were 13.5-point underdogs to the Celtics on May 1st, 2023. And the Celtics, if I remember right, picked up their 247th win versus the Celtics. And the Celtics got their 247th postseason loss. And again, huge payout because 76ers were a major underdog. But of course, they were winning in that 247 ritual. The Illuminati was founded in 1776. My home city, Portland, only championship was the 76-77 season with Bill Walton over the 76ers. And then I forget, was it like, I know the Warriors used to be in Philly. That's true about the Warriors, too, because they used to be in Philly. And again, Philly's the home of the flag and this Francis Scott Key thing, 239th day of what would have been his age, like the flag's thrown at 239 Street. Something to think about with that. But that just reminds me, 239, the 52nd prime going with the whole Nancy Pelosi thing and construction starting on this bridge 52 years ago. I got to look at how this lines up with the governor after this call real quick. New Haven, Connecticut, Skull and Bones land. What's up, 203?
Zach, I just wanted to mention that the Warriors are on 1,977 losses away all time. I mentioned the comments.
1977, like the year that the bridge was open, 1977, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Good one.
So coming in tonight with a team that's got the bridge on their jerseys, maybe they stay on that number and bridge equals 36, Heat equals 36.
Miami equals 36, not Heat. It's Miami.
That's right. Yeah, Miami equals 34.
Heat equals 34. Heat equals 34. Miami equals 36.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I got my phone. I don't have my
out there showing. But yeah, wild shit.
Okay. All right. Interesting thoughts. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that painting earlier too. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm still trying to wake up, but yeah, I'm in another the chat, and somebody had mentioned that, and I was just like, holy shit, I gotta throw that in the chat and see what you find.
Yeah, no, I mean that's game over. Again, for people who got here late, the broken bridge in the dream equals 128, like Maryland, like bridge collapse. The thing hits the bridge at 128, and the name of the ship that hit it's the Dali. And Salvador Dali's painting is obviously the ritual. So you know what else I just thought about? In light of the Warriors playing the Heat, okay, this painting came out 79 years ago. Miami Heat equals 79. And that you got the Warriors playing the Heat today. So, yeah, that there is something going on here. You know what else? Miami has the 45 connection. Remember, you guys, we just talked about this. Miami equals 27, like it was the 27th anniversary of Ready to Die yesterday as they kick in the door at Diddy's house when that's the name of one of the songs on, or did I say Ready to Die? Life After Death. It was the 27th anniversary of Life After Death.
Yeah.
But Miami's got the 45 connection, that painting from 45. It's got the 27 connection going with the Diddy ritual yesterday. It's got the 36 connection like you just brought up. So, and Bridge is also 45 and 36. So the team with the bridge on the uniform play in Miami when they're originally from Philly, which has the connection with Baltimore and Pelosi. So, yeah, something's going on here.
Yeah, wild shit. Yeah, I don't want to waste much of your time, but thanks for taking my call, Jay.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Bye.
By the way, the name of the ship, the Dali, which is obviously a tribute to Salvador Dali. Notice the 26 is today, not the 26th of the month. If you're new here, my first book, Letters and Numbers, explains the significance of 26, what's so special about this number, why it's used in such high ritual, and why there's a 26-letter English alphabet. And again, if you've never read my books before, you can get them in electronic form as instant downloads from my website, GematriaEffectNews. Ebooks, Letters and Numbers is my first book. The first chapter of that book's about the 26-letter alphabet. My second book, Number Games, just shows you. And this Number Games book came out in the middle of 2020, shortly after the pandemic started. And in that book, I explained why they were going to wind down all the pandemic crap as soon as the Year of the Tiger came around. And that's exactly what they did. As soon as the Year of the Tiger came around, it all ended. So this book foretold the future. And again, it's not because we're psychic. We're not doing a 1-800 line over here. It's because we figured out how the tyrants operate in the code that they work by. And one of the big clues is they were just having every celebrity come out and say they had COVID in tiger gear. If you go back to 2020, it'll blow your mind if you go back and pay attention. So we said that's what they're foreshadowing. When the Year of the Tiger comes around, that's when all this shit's going to end. And they will bring it back again, but the whole phase one of this business did end when the Year of the Tiger came around. All ritual. Here, I got to see the Maryland governor. You know what? We're going to make a call to the governor's office. That's how we're going to cap off this stream. We're going to call Wes Moore. Wes Moore's 45 years old. Come on, man. God, you know what? Oh, my God. This stuff is sick, you guys. God, this stuff is sick. Do you see where he's from? He's from Tacoma Park, Maryland. Does anyone get the joke with that? I'll let you think about it. I get the joke because I'm out here in Washington State. But what is it about Tacoma and bridge collapses? Do you guys know the answer to that? Does anyone know the answer to Tacoma and bridge collapses? The worst bridge collapse in history was the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. You got a 45-year-old governor from Tacoma Park. Come on, man. Bridge 45, ritual 45. Wow. This is just like what we always teach about, how they got all these rituals so perfectly coordinated. They got all the right pawns in all the right places. They had to have the 45. Oh, my God, man. You know what else? He's born on the day, leaving 77 days left in the year, like how this bridge opened up in 77. I think it's 165 days after his birthday, if I'm not mistaken, and that's the Scottish Rite. Oh, no, I did bad math. It's 163 days. Shit, I forget. Hold on. Is it the name of the river? When I was decoding this morning, I didn't even write it down. There was a 163 somewhere that I came across. Doing that early morning math. 163 days. 163 is the 38th prime number. The 38 is a number of death, and people are dead from this. You know, they said at least 7 people are missing from the collapse. They said the bridge is 1.6 miles long. Not the whole thing collapsed, but that big section did. What's the name of the river again? Hold up. I know when I was looking at things this morning, I saw 163, and I didn't write it down because, again, there was just too many other key points. Is it the river? The river is 163. You see that? Patapsco River 163, 163 days after his birthday. The bridge falls into the river. 163, the 38th prime number of death. But yeah, just the most obvious thing is him being 45 and from Tacoma Park when, here, Tacoma Narrows bridge collapse. Let's look this up for those of you guys who don't know about it. They say this is the worst bridge engineering disaster in history. And this morning on CNN, they're talking about how this bridge should have been built with barriers in front of the pillars. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge, 1940. What day did it collapse? Construction started on the Jesuit day, September 27th. The day, see, you got, God, look at that. The day in history of the Jesuit. Look at that. Look at that, man. Okay, the Jesuits were recognized by the Roman Catholic Church on September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year to counter the 95 Theses written by Martin Luther. That's why MLK was eventually assassinated on the 95th day of the year, because he assumed the name Martin Luther. Baltimore's 95, right? So Tacoma Narrows Bridge began on the day leaving 95 days left in the year. Opened on 7/1, Old Catholic 71. It collapsed on November 7th. Look at that. It collapsed on 117. Bridge has the 117 connection, right? And this is the kind of stuff that makes you wonder about when weather warfare really started, because it was crazy wind that brought the bridge down. Weather warfare wasn't admitted to until 1952, but isn't that funny that it came down on such a perfect date? So November 7th, that's the day leaving 54 days left in the year. Today's the 88th day of the year. So what's that, 142 days later? Did I just see that the name of this river? Shit, there were... it doesn't matter. We got enough points in here to understand the ritual. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. We're going to call the governor's office. Tacoma Narrows Bridge 206. Seattle, just north of Tacoma, is the 206 area code. R.I.P. to Kurt Cobain, who died in 94, the year Bill Gates became famous. Died 206 days from Bill Gates' birthday. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, really quickly, the opening for The Wire season 2, episode 4 is called Hard Cases. It shows the characters staring at the bridge. So season 2, episode 4, like 24.
Hey, you remember when Omar died from The Wire? You remember how his death was synced with that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've a number of people of that show have died ritualistically. Hold on. So that bridge is shown in the first episode, huh?
No, season 2, episode 4, in the opening. Like 24.
Season 2, episode 4.
Yeah, Hard Cases is the episode.
Okay. By the way, Michael K. Williams, who played Omar in that show, died on Idris Elba's birthday. And if people don't know, HBO, who did The Wire, is ran by Jesuits. It was founded by a Jesuit. So many people have died in Jesuit rituals connected to HBO shows, including Michael K. Williams.
All right, man. That's all I had. If you know, if it's connected to the actor that plays Frank Sabaka, I forgot his name. 1 second. Frank Sabaka, actor. Chris Boyer, he's in True Blood and stuff. I don't know if it's connected to him.
I'm pulling it up here.
The opening scene right there.
Why when I search, because I'm getting dyslexic here. Season 2, episode 4. Hard Cases. I just want to see what day the episode came out. June 22nd, 2003. Okay. Okay. I'll look more into that. I appreciate that observation. Yeah, that when I think of Baltimore and TV shows, that's probably the one that comes to mind above any other. So.
Baltimore, right there.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate that.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Take care. Now remember that Salvador Dali painting is 79 years old. And again, today's 26/3, like 263, the 56 prime, Society of Jesus, 56 forward, 79 in reverse. For the record, when the COVID pandemic was declared, Anthony Fauci equals 56 in the same cipher as Society of Jesus, just like Washington, D.C., like coronavirus. The pandemic was declared on the 79th day of Anthony Fauci being 79 years old. So these numbers get put together in high ritual all the time. But Michael K. Williams, and again, HBO, look at this, you guys. HBO is totally Jesuit run. Founded by Jesuits. HBO's got the 56. Home box office has the 54 and 72 like Jesuit order does. But Michael K. Williams, dead in a total Jesuit ritual. And maybe you guys have seen this interview too. Back when The Wire was on TV, Michael K. Williams did an interview at the time, and he explained that his best friend had died unexpectedly, and he wanted to go to the funeral of his best friend. And the people who ran HBO told him that if he goes to that funeral and misses the shoot that day, they'll replace his character and he'll be off the show. So he was explaining how, that was the downside of show business. And he said, like, I can't give up this career because it's the best thing that ever happened, but I'll always have the regret that I couldn't be at my best friend's funeral. And that's what I mean, too, when these people die around these celebrities. It might not be that, like, I don't think that they, like, chose, like, yeah, go out and take them out today. I just think it's when they signed on the line with Jesuit-run HBO for the big contract to be a star in the show. I don't know if they got any hints along the way that they just sold their soul and that there might be some consequences. But when I listened to Michael K. Williams talk about that all that year, I was like, man, that's messed up. They couldn't pause shooting for a little bit so he could go to his friend's funeral. And it was weird. And he ended up dying early, right? He probably wasn't supposed to talk about that. He didn't live to be that long, Michael K. Williams. And let's not forget Idris Elba. You remember Idris Elba at the beginning of the pandemic? He was doing the Jesuit order's bidding. He's on there telling. We covered it back at the start of when all this was going down. Idris Elba was one of the first celebrities. It was like around the time that Tom Hanks remember Tom Hanks, born in 56, shooting the Elvis. I don't want to get into all of it, but Idris Elba was one of the first celebrities. And he came out and he scolded black people. He said, all you black people out there spreading conspiracy theories about COVID, you need to take this seriously because we're going to be the most susceptible people to this virus. And he's just putting out movie after movie after movie after movie where Michael K. Williams is in the ground. 443. 443.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Real fast. I just had a couple connections. So you remember in Leave the World Behind, the ship, the White Lion. White Lion equals 128.
Yes, it does. Yeah, the White Lion's 128. And again, for Bill, don't know about that in the Obama film. Again, the first slave ship in America was the White Lion in the year 1619. And of course, in the movie, when they find the radio signal that still works, it's 1619. There's so many things about that Obama movie. But yeah, you're right. The White Lion 128. And now here we are at 1:28 a.m. and a ship crashing in. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew Perry, he died on 10/28.
Right.
Another 128 in
right.
the water. And the bathtub. But also, this isn't the first time that ship has crashed. It crashed on July 11th, 2016. And, that's the 11th bridge. 11.
Wait, when you say this, you mean this same ship, the Dali?
Yeah, the Dali crashed on July 11th, 2016 in Belgium.
Was it a different ship named the Dali or the? Oh my God, man! Yeah, the exact same ship. Come on, man! And again on 11/7 when it's the other bridge. No, oh my God, come on.
Yeah, and why I think that's significant is because somebody just called about the Frank Sabaka character in The Wire, and he was a port worker, and he was worried about the bridge and everything, but he was beefing with the Greeks. The Greeks killed him underneath that bridge, and it was owned by a Greek company in 2016, but they sold it to somebody else later on. And I just wanted to make that connection.
Yeah, great research. No doubt it's all connected. And again, it's like who's writing the wire? Well, we know it's the Jesuits. They run HBO, and it, just like how they got their numbers all over this script today. So that's how they can put out a show and then line up a ritual like this by the numbers all these years later. Amazing.
Yeah, and the bridge had a Celtic cross on it, and that was it that I had.
The bridge that got hit today had a Celtic cross on it? Well, that's Catholic too. Okay.
The ship had the Celtic cross on it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, that was it.
Thank you.
All right, man, thanks.
I want to see how many days it is from the July 11th ritual to today. We're in the 90, it's 92 months and 15 days, which means we're in the 93rd month. 93 is another number that's used in death and destruction, thus the 93 World Trade Center bombing. Saturn equals 93. Saturn's the keeper of time, connected to death and judgment. Goes with the 47 years after it opened. But yeah, we have so much evidence here for how high this ritual is. It's a damn shame that people that actually still have a platform won't share this. 347.
Yeah, I'm going to see your stream. Did you go over your old post on January 28th?
Of course I did. Of course I did, man. Again, for Bill got here late, bridge collapse, 128. Look at the Gematria, Maryland, where this happens. They said this hit the bridge at 1:28 a.m. That's the 88th minute of the day. All four of these numbers on the screen. 88th minute of the day, 1:28, exactly 34 weeks after Francis Scott Key's birthday, 3 days after the 47th birthday of the opening of the bridge. And then this Francis Dali thing's the clincher, because the ship that hit the bridge is called, or the ship is called the Dali that hit the bridge. And the Dali, Salvador Dali painted the portrait, The Broken Bridge in the Dream, and that equals 128. And today's 46 days from Salvador Dali's birthday anniversary. And Salvador Dali's birthday, and his name's 46. And again, he died at 84, and today's Pelosi's 84th birthday. And she's out in the Bay Area where that other very famous red bridge is, the Golden Gate Bridge, which equals 81. And Biden was part of that bridge collapse ritual that you just brought up at Fern Hollow in Pittsburgh. The day you're supposed to talk infrastructure, and you're talking about these old Catholic Democrats. And it's just, again, the ritual is so obvious. So, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I remember that day. I remember that day. Like, it was just they had reported there was 128 bridges that were
messed
up. It was crazy.
Yeah. Again, you guys, the bridge that collapsed on 128 in Pittsburgh when Biden was supposed to talk infrastructure was the Fern Hollow, which is 128, just like bridge collapse. Again, it was January 28th, and now here we are at 1:28 a.m. Same ritual. So. Oh, snap. Hold up. I just noticed that bridge collapse is also 79, and here we are 79 years after the Salvador Dali painting, which came out in 45. And again, Society of Jesus, the Jesuits who run it all, 5679. Today's 26/3, like 263, the 56 prime. We just saw the Baltimore Orioles owner died 263 days after his birthday, and his name equals 56, just like Nancy Pelosi, whose birthday it is today, is 56. So
you're gonna call the mayor?
I was going to call the governor, because the governor's 45 years old, like Bridge and Ritual, and he's from Tacoma Park, when the worst bridge collapse in U.S. history is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. So.
We got through to the White House? Somebody picked up? You ain't think somebody was going to pick up?
That was weird that they picked up, because we called in the middle of the night. It was like, what the hell? So.
Picked up at the White House. Oh my God, that was crazy. But yeah, this should probably have a song. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. The KRS one.
Yeah.
The whole movie thing and everything.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you get to the phone call. All right. Thank you, Zach.
All right. All right. Yeah. Let's. Oh, hold on. We got a D26 sighting. We'll take D26 one more time, and then I'll call the governor's office.
Yeah, I just found something more accurate, which is undeniable that this was planned to the very second and to the very minute. for just for the sake of proof, I'm just going to share to you on the private chat the source that I'm speaking from. It's the Wikipedia page of the bridge collapse. They've updated that. Could you just take it from the private chat?
Here. Okay,
Okay.
I got another.
In the second subparagraph in event, now notice how it says that the ship left the port of Baltimore at 44 minutes of the day at 044 local time, and it hit at 128, which is the 88th time, 88th minute of the day. Maryland
Hold on.
equals
I
88.
just tried to search event to just see if I don't see anything that's titled event in the thing, so that's not the actual phrasing. I'm just trying to get to the spot where you are.
It's the hold on. Let me just look at your
Collapse.
screen.
It's under a collapse. Okay, I got it.
Okay, it's in the collapse. Okay, so it left the port at 44 a.m. 12:44, and it hit at 128. So it left the port at 44th minute of the day, and hit the bridge at 88th minute of the day. Maryland equals 88. The word hit HIT equals 88, and how it says on the small thumbnail
Hold
on the
on,
right.
D26. Just again, your accent is very clean. For a lot of us cannot understand most Indian people. You're very clean to understand, but I did not understand the word you said before hit.
The picture on the right side, it says that it hit the fourth pillar.
Okay. I see that.
The
The
word
fourth pillar,
hit.
44 minutes after taking off. Again, if you guys are new here, 44 is a number of death and destruction. Kill is 44, execution's 44, military is 44, and the list goes on. So, but what was the word you said before hit?
No, I said the hit. The word hit equals 44. So just like kill.
Okay. I thought you said something before hit though. It's okay.
I guess cargo equals 44.
I see.
Regarding to that, you mentioned that bridge and ritual equals 45. Well, the birthplace of Salvador Dali equals 45, and I'll just make probably spamming in the chats that when you were talking about the number 47, well, it's also called as the Beltway Bridge. It's the other name for the bridge. It's that equals 74. Container ship equals 74. The Dali Museum, where the painting resides today, that equals 74. It's in Florida right now. And Baltimore City is 74 degrees east of Salvador Dali's birthplace.
Hey, D26, do you want to move out to the United States?
Probably, but the way my attitude is, probably that might be a difficult place to live for a country like that.
Why?
I don't know. Probably freedom of speech is probably a joke in most of the countries, I would say. Even in my country, even in your country, I would say.
Okay. Yeah,
But I do wish to travel.
Don't you guys think there's so many people that would be worthy of great employees, but don't you guys think D26 would be like the greatest employee for this movement? So you just talk to me, D26, if you want to come out here. We might have to figure out a way. So
I would very much like to. I do not. I've been offered by a couple of friends and family relatives. I wouldn't say relatives, but my previous neighbors. Sadly, they lost both of their child. Both of the children are probably 10 years apart, and I was close to them. And for the last 5 years, they live in multiple cities, and they've asked me multiple times that that even if I would like to study there, they are ready to take care of me. But I did, in case I never told you, I was planning to go to Canada for higher education, but because of COVID, I dropped that plan. Did I ever tell you that story?
you did. All right. Well, we'll talk about that more later. But do you have more
Sure.
observations on this?
I do, but I don't think that's worthy. I think right now. Let me just look at the notes. Okay. Also, probably one thing in case I came late to the live stream, the bridge collapse is 128th day of Biden's age.
Oh God, it is so synced with Biden. Good one. Biden's birthday is November 20th. Let's just confirm that real quick.
I'm glad that was the like.
Look at that. It's 127 days after Biden's birthday. Like, again, the name of the bridge, Francis Scott Key Bridge, is 127. They had to make that part of the story. And again, 127 is a number of destruction as well. Pearl Harbor on 12/7, what they did the last year into Maui in a huge 127 ritual. Again, they had to mention that the lights were flickering at 127 right before it hit at 128. But 127 days after his birthday, or his 128th day of his age, which goes with Biden being in Pittsburgh when their bridge collapsed on 128. This stuff, it's just so sick, man. And yeah, something's coming here with Joe. And again, be careful out there on the Golden Gate Bridge, because it's the 81 bridge. And again, Pelosi connects San Francisco and Baltimore. So. You got any more D26?
I don't think so. But did you mention anything regarding the number 38?
What number?
With this, the number 38?
Yeah, the name of the river equals 163, which is the 38th prime, and it's 163 days after the governor's birthday.
Okay, I was muted. So, just one last thing with 38, because I missed the name of the river which you mentioned. The name of the ship, although it is named after Dali, but on the ship, on the legal name is MV Dali. So it has initials of MV, and then it says Dali. That equals 438.
MV Dali, huh? Yeah, I see that. I see that.
That equals 38. That's it. I would say.
And again,
probably
just Dali alone, like they're referring to, it's 26 to go with the 26th of the month. So.
All right. Should I decode that? That when you decode the words 26, that equals 56.
Yeah. Amy just pointed out that it's 128 days before Francis Scott Key's birthday, which is August 1st. So let me just connect. Let's double check that real quick. August 1st, 2024. It is. It's 128 days before Francis Scott Key's birthday. Wow.
I missed that. I thought this was already covered, but yeah, good one, Amy. But yeah, I will probably join some the other day. But thanks for taking my call twice.
Yeah.
And I will surely let you know, Brett, because I do want to travel to some other places, and that is US is one on my list. Not to lie on that.
All right. You keep me posted, buddy. You have a good day.
Sure. You too.
732.
Hey, so this comes 44 years and 4 days after the Georgia Guidestones were built. And
March 22nd. Yep.
It kind of sounds like maybe it's Hindu, and those Hindu stones with the translations got knocked down first. But I'm seeing on Google, Dali is a goddess, a Georgian goddess.
Which goes with the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, good.
Of the goddess with a ram. So it's in the time of Aries. So there's this goddess with a ram depiction.
And here we are on Tuesday. Tuesday has the gematria of 95 like Baltimore, and Tuesday is named after Mars, the god of war. Mars has the 47-year orbital cycle. God, now that I think about that, Mars has the 47-year orbital cycle, and the bridge just turned 47 3 days ago. So yeah, that's and Mars is the god of war. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if the Golden Gate Bridge is going to come down, there's some war event coming here real soon. And again, let's not forget they brought back Netanyahu on 12/29, Albert Pike's birthday. And Albert Pike wrote the letter about 3 world wars, which was published on the Jesuit Order's birthday, August 15th. And if you guys weren't here on 12/29/2022, we called almost to the day when the war in Israel would begin in 2023. And it's just... Yeah, all of this stuff is symbolic for what they're building to. So, look at this. There was an album called Dali that was put out in 1984 by the French, and the Jesuits are from France. Again, he died at 84, and today's Pelosi's 84th birthday. This lady almost looks like damn Nancy Pelosi. Who is this lady, this French lady? Hey, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead with what else you were saying.
Well, Salvatore Dali, this guy made a Halloween 2018 post on his Facebook, I guess. I don't know. This guy, he was alive then, right?
Salvador Dali. Here, let's go back and see when he died. I know he died at 84. When was his death again? He died in 1989.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know. They got this picture of Salvador Dali doing this Shiva pose, but the Facebook says Dali resembles the Hindu goddess of death and destruction. So I guess the guy, Salvatore Dali, he did a lot of Hindu god and goddess stuff. Like, he's got this picture. Oh, man, dude. He's got this picture of, he's holding like a feather and a pickaxe. He's got 6 arms, holding a dandelion in one. Yeah, it's really creepy.
Isn't that like Shiva? Doesn't Shiva have the 6 arms?
So, like, if you look up pictures of this guy, Salvatore Dali, he's got like.
I see it. I got the image right here. I see the one you're talking about. Yeah. Again, everything they do is symbolic, man. The people who control this world, they've been controlling this world for a long, long time. Same people who control Babylon, all this, they're running shit today. So.
Yeah, but that's what I was initially thinking. The first stones that got bombed, the Georgia Guidestones, were the Hindi stones, right?
You're right. God, you're absolutely right. Yep. Yep.
So this is 44 years and 4 days after the Guidestones.
And once again, they said that the ship took off 44 minutes into the day and hit the pillar 44 minutes later, and they said it hit pillar 4. And again, 44 and 4 are numbers of destruction, numbers of death.
Joe Biden just won Georgia.
And synced up with Jimmy Carter, who's right now being kept alive like a statuesque vegetable. So.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe we've seen 2 dead presidents within 47 days of each other. That'd be something.
And it would be Biden and Carter together because they have all the parallels between them. So.
Yep. Well, yeah, that's all I had.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Guys.
443.
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Doing all right.
This is Davon. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland myself, but I have a quick question. Now, normally movies would have a connection to stuff like this, right?
Of course.
Okay, and I know that you were saying that they said that what was it, Tacoma Bridge or whatever it was? I don't know if it was a bridge, but you said that was the worst one in 1940, right?
Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapse, considered the worst bridge collapse in U.S. history.
Okay, now, you said that, they said that our bridge here was built in
snap. Hold up.
1977, right?
Hold up. I just got to point out it'll be the 84th anniversary this year in light of Salvador Dali dying at 84 and today being Pelosi's 84th birthday. And again, big special number, United States of America, 84. So this year, come November, it'll be the 84th anniversary. And again, the governor of Maryland is 45 right now, like Bridge and Ritual equals 45, and he's from Tacoma Park. And I'll remind you, in the UK, we just had that ritual with them putting in the new prime minister, Liz Truss, right before Queen Liz died. And a truss is part of the engineering of a bridge. The operation for when Queen Elizabeth died was called Operation London Bridge. But Liz Truss was the prime minister for only 45 days, like Bridge and Ritual equals 45. And again, she became the prime minister on September 6th, 2 days before the Queen died at 96. The word Freemason is 96. And again, you add the 3 degrees of the Scottish Rite, 31, 32, 33, it equals 96. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equals 127, like the name of this bridge. Anyway, I'm going, but let's go back to the point you're making. Start over from the beginning since I interrupted you because I got to hear this.
Okay. Now, mind you, so this bridge was built it was 1977, if I'm not mistaken.
It opened in 77. March 23rd, 77, it opened. Oh, by the way, March 20th, look at this. Francis Scott Key Bridge, 233, it opened on 23/3. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but also, now mind you, I'm not sure how this is connected, but I know, because I was up when it actually happened, and it freaked me out. But also, it was another bridge collapse. 10 years prior, that was the bridge that collapsed in Ohio. I think it was the Seton Pleasant Bridge or something. That collapsed in 1967. Now, I'm not sure how much that may have
a connection with it. And then they did a movie.
No, hold on. Somebody left a comment earlier about the Silver Bridge collapse in 67, which it was 56 years and change ago from this collapse, just like on today's 26/3, 263, the 56 prime. Again, Nancy Pelosi equals 56. It's her birthday. And that we looked, the clearance for this bridge was 56 meters, and the word ship alone equals 56. A ship takes it down because the cargo was stacked so high. But okay, go, I got to look more into this Silver Bridge collapse to see if there's more to it. But go ahead.
And then the movie, The Mothman Primacy, came out in 2000. It came out in 2002, and this situation just happened. So it happened 22 years later, ever since the movie has came out. So I'm not sure how much that is connected, but that's the first thing I thought about and popped into my head when I heard that the bridge, when I was looking on TikTok, and I saw that the bridge collapsed. So that's the first thing that I thought about. So I'm not sure how much that's connected, but it's just, to me, it just seems like it's too obvious.
All of this is too obvious with the Dali and the painting and how perfect it all lines up. 128 again, 128th day of Biden's. It's 128 days to damn Francis Scott Key's upcoming birthday. It's just, the ritual is just so perfect. And the thing that kills me is that we've had this figured out for so long, and we still can't get hardly anyone in the world to talk about it, which just shows you what a bunch of sellouts everybody is. All you guys who listen to all these frauds out there, I'm talking Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, you name it, all these frauds out there that have big platform, turn these sorry-ass motherfuckers off. They don't deserve any ratings, okay? They deserve no ratings. You want to see the world change? Help this work that we've been putting out for a decade get out there more, because this exposes exactly what's going on all day, every single fucking day. So I'm just so frustrated that this shit keeps going on. I mean, this people literally died today. They didn't have to die. They wouldn't have died. If we would have shut down this corrupt-ass government and media a long time ago, this shit wouldn't have happened today. Anyway, go ahead.
Now, but this is the crazy part. By me being here, and I see a lot, I mean, through news and stuff like that. Now, mind you, the only bridge here that they work on constantly, back and forth, is the Bay Bridge, because there's a lot more traffic that's coming and going back and forth through the Bay Bridge, because you got people that live in the Eastern Shore, they come over this direction to work, and vice versa. These other bridges, you never see them work on these bridges or do anything to these bridges until it's close to election time.
Right, yeah. Again, everything is all politics in this country. It's all politics and money.
Yeah, but I mean...
Hey, speaking of which, I'm glad you just brought that up, because, hold on, we are on a Tuesday. We talked about where Tuesday goes with the God of War and how the Gematria fits in with Baltimore, but it's a voting day, right? I got to double check how many weeks we are to the election, because this is going to come up. Hold on. The election's November 5th. How many weeks are we from the... We're 32 weeks from the election, and for people who are new here, 32 is the middle degree of the Scottish Rite. Scottish is 32. America's 32. Again, the Scottish Rite was created by Jesuit priests. If you look at the Jesuit logo, there's 32 sun rays on the logo. It's kind of like when the Dodgers beat the Rays and broke their 32-year drought. 7/4/1776 has 32 date numerology. So 32 is a number. So again, the nation collapsing, the infrastructure falling, synced up with the president perfectly 32 days before the election. We get a vote between two old Jesuit fucks in a perfect script. For all you guys who don't understand, they are Jesuit fucks. President Biden, 72 and 81. President Trump, 72 and 81. Was it not just the 72nd day of the leap year, March 12th, that they declared them both the candidates, the front runners for their parties? And again, Biden became senator in 72 and sacrificed his wife and daughter that year in a clear Jesuit ritual. And then he lost his son, Beau Biden, at age 46 when he was 72 years old. But 72nd day of the year, they're both the front runners. And then yesterday was 81 days before Trump's birthday. That means today is 80 days before Trump's birthday, or a span of 81 days. And yeah, you know that it's just everything, high ritual. So go ahead again, friend. Go ahead.
Oh no, but that was basically. I mean, that was all basically I had to say. Like I say, that whole situation with that bridge, that one just popped out to me. And the funny thing about it, if you was to look up and look at the pictures between this bridge and the one that happened in 67, they look identical and they look like they felt the same exact way.
The one in 67 happened on the date December 15th. So that means today is 104 days after that anniversary, or a span of 105 days. Masonry's 105, like Order of Illuminati's 105. 104 goes with how Roman Catholic Church is 104, and we just had the 104th football season end, and we talked about earlier how this is synced with the Ravens' last game, coming 58 days later, the game where they fell to 5-8 versus the Chiefs, who went on to win Super Bowl 58, while Andy Reid stayed on 58 losses. And again, Freemasonry and Secret Society's 58. So yeah, I'll have to look more into this Ohio collapse. Yeah, it says 46 people died in that collapse.
And I'm not sure what time that one happened, but both times it was. One time was, well, from what I saw and what they talked about, it was both of them was like it was dark outside, because with them they said people was out doing Christmas shopping and stuff like this. This time of morning, people were getting up. You know, people that had to be at the 3 o'clock range to go to work. Because my buddy of mine, he has to be to work at like 4 something in the morning. He said he was gonna get up and leave early that morning. This morning, but something told him he hit his snooze button on his phone and he didn't get up. And as soon as he got up, that's when he found out all this happened.
Yeah, just for the record, Silver Bridge equals 67, like how the collapse happened in 67. And for people who are new here, that's a fateful number. Blood sacrifice is 67. Human sacrifice is 67. The word sacrifice alone is 46, like Genesis 46. And if you look up that Silver Bridge, the article says that 46 people died. And like we talked about today's synced up with the Salvador Dali painting, and it's 46 days from Salvador Dali's birthday anniversary. So
okay, well, that's all I had. Thank you.
All right, thanks, man. All right, I'm gonna call the governor's office. Let's see if we can get through to we might not be able to. They might be so busy today because of the bridge collapse. But we'll try the governor from Tacoma Park, and then we're getting one more phone call. We'll take one more phone call while I look up the phone numbers here. 732.
Yeah, I just don't want you to miss when you connect it to the Baltimore Orioles. So, he died 263 days after his birthday, and his name is 56. Just like this bridge collapse is 3 days after the birthday of the bridge, and it's 233. So yeah, this is really, really synced up with the Baltimore Orioles owner. And
right, we're 2 days from opening day. 2 days from opening day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And by the way, you just talked about 67 with the blood sacrifice number. This is the 86th day of the year, so another thing for Biden or somebody in government dying.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Westmore equals 41, like Baltimore. And again, for people who weren't here earlier, you just had the owner of your baseball team die on the 83rd day of the year when Baltimore last won the World Series in 83, and that was 41 years ago. And again, we just saw Mahomes get his 41st road win in Baltimore to advance to the Super Bowl. Remember, Super Bowl's 41. Remember, Kobe Bryant's 41. Dead at age 41 while traveling from Catholic Mass. Number 24, and then dead the Sunday before Mahomes wins the Super Bowl at age 24 on the 41st pass of the game.
This owner has a July 4th birthday, like 4/7.
The governor?
Yeah. Well, no, the Orioles.
Oh yeah. He has the July 4th or 4/7 birthday, like Maryland's 47, like this thing going down 47 years after the bridge opened.
Yeah. So yep. All right, you're the man.
All right, I'm gonna give him a call. Appreciate it, man.
Got it.
Wesley with 10-day Omari Moore, 129, like 201 in base 8 counting. Can't get more Jesuit than that. Wesley Moore, also 58, like Baltimore. Like the bridge coming down 58 days after Baltimore's football season ends in the big 58 ritual. You guys want to know something? Hey, Harry, go back and look at the box score. Look at this, you guys. You see how Kansas City Chiefs equals 64? Kansas City Chiefs 64. Kansas City 67. Go back and look at the halftime box score for the Ravens against the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson had 64 net yards and 67 total yards. And, of course, Montana was 67 years old this year, which is the 19th prime number. And the Chiefs became the first team to win back-to-back in 19 years, going to overtime 19-19. And then McCole Hardman scores his 19th career touchdown to win the game. And McCole Hardman, for the record, 58 to go with Super Bowl 58 because it's that big of a script. 505.
Hey, what's up, Zach? I'll be real quick. I'm here at my slave job, but Salvador Dali, I can't even pronounce his name. He did some type of jewelry called the Royal Heart with 46 rubies, 42 diamonds, and 4 emeralds. And it beats like a heart. What went on in the NFL during the season? Edgar Allan Poe, right?
Yep.
Would that sync with this Salvador Dali and Edgar Allan Poe with all this Baltimore stuff?
Well, you just saying the royal thing just reminded me of how the Queen died in a bridge ritual with Liz Truss. So I just had to measure from her death real quick on September 8th. And I see it's 80 weeks later. And what did I just have up on the Scott? You know, Francis Scott Key Bridge is, again, 233, like the day it opened, 23/3. It's 98, like the Queen died on 9/8. And then again, it's 127, like this goes down 127 days after Biden's birthday or on the 128th day of his age. But the Edgar Allan Poe thing, it was, you guys, here's the ritual they did this year with the Ravens and Edgar Allan Poe. So you see how Baltimore Ravens is 174? This year, it was a Saturday that was the 174th anniversary of the death of Edgar Allan Poe. And then the Ravens lost the next day to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had the bridge collapse. And Mike Tomlin got his 174th career win over the Ravens one day after. And by the way, Edgar Allan Poe's death anniversary was the day the war began in Israel with Hamas. So, and 170, here, 174 is special for all kinds of reasons. New World Order's 174. It's also 75. And again, here we are 75 days after the death anniversary of Francis Scott Key. But here, let's measure from October 7th then real quick, since that was the day that they did, or that was the day of Edgar Allan Poe's death anniversary, because he's connected to Baltimore as well. Today's 171 days after his death anniversary, which is the 18th triangular number, IHS, the Jesuit acronym is 18. That means it's also a span of 172 days. And that means in a few days, it's going to be 174 days later, which is interesting. May have to watch out. Something might be coming in a few days again. Could be a former Baltimore. Oh, shit. That means opening day for the Orioles, actually, which is March 28th, is a span of 174 days later. But, yeah, we'll have to see if they do anything else besides opening day. So, but I was going to say that the span of 172 days to the accident, that's the Jesuit motto, and Merum de Gloriam, 172. So,
okay, I just thought about the Edgar Allan Poe thing and all of Baltimore, and this happening in Baltimore again today.
Yeah.
You know, thinking there's something there.
Yeah, indeed. All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, welcome. 267, what's up, Philly? Oh, you hung up. I'm never going to get through this phone call to the governor. Hold on. 267.
Hey, Zach, you're right about the Baltimore. They're playing the Angels. The Angels are going to the Baltimore to open up in Baltimore. The Angels, California, the bridge, 58. The Angels are 58 in numerology. If you type in the Angels, they have 58.
Yeah, you're right. Angels have the strong connection to 58. They do indeed. Angels is 58, going with this Baltimore thing.
That could be a big correlation from California and Baltimore, man.
Yeah. Now there's some new angels. They died today in the river because the Jesuits had to have another sick ritual. So,
yeah, that's all I want to point out to you, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. All right. No more phone calls because I got for the person who said we should start our own news team. Yeah, I've been saying that's why the world should support this work, because this work's been unprecedented. We've helped people make a ton of money off sports, the market, crypto. You know, we've taught you all about Bitcoin in 72. Surged again yesterday on the 72 date numerology. It's the Jesuits. But yeah, there should be so many more people supporting this work. You literally can make a lot of money by supporting my work. And it's not just about that, too. There should just be more support for this work so it can get way bigger. Again, there's no reason for my support to be half of what it was from when we went out to Oklahoma City for the anniversary of the bombing and 9/11 for the anniversary of the attack. Since we did that, my support is half of what it was after driving across the nation, doing something important and unprecedented. And again, that's because the powers that shouldn't be that control these big tech platforms definitely did something to cut the support in half. But there hasn't been the troops haven't rallied and helped out the situation. And that was over 2 years ago. So, and we didn't have anywhere near enough support back then. We just have a fraction of what we had before that. And it's just crazy. It's like, I don't understand how people can just pour their money into all these shills. And then we sit over here with hardly any funding as we drop the dopest information there ever was every single day. And that's not an overstatement. Those are just facts. But hold on. Let's call the governor's office. All right. Hold on. Where did he go? I got too many tabs open. All right. Maryland governor phone number. Can we get a contact? 239. I'm trying to call the governor's office. What is it, 239?
Yeah, I just want to say maybe for the next couple of days, switch it up a little bit. And people like live feeds, try to pull in those videos and trying to get new people in there, just focused on the bridge itself and maybe not so much sports for new people coming in, and people really like.
Well, we only cover sports on Patreon anyway, so nobody's really seeing the sports coverage unless they're on Patreon. But again, we just keep up with everything going on in the world. I mean, what else is there to do besides expose the new shit each day, the new ritual pulled off on the world? I mean, that's what we do every day. So
I know, but this could be an opportunity for people that are watching live coverage on these bigger channels to pull them over. And people like live videos and stuff like that.
Well, isn't that what I do every day? Don't I do live videos on the latest every day? I mean, that's what we're doing.
Well, this is a big event, so it could be a...
The thing is, though, it's the United States of amnesia, right? They'll pull off another big event within a week by now, and everyone will forget about this. They won't even remember the Baltimore Bridge collapse. So
I understand, but that's why you have this window of opportunity to try to pull people in as this is happening.
Well, I just want you to watch how I guarantee you the Joe Rogans of the world and stuff are very well. I remember when Joe Rogan had Rosie O'Donnell on in 2016, and he said, "Hey, Rosie, have you heard about this thing about letters and numbers?" It's like, so he's obviously, I mean, I was the only person covering that back then. But so people like this are the ones who could change the world if they'd share the information, and they just won't because they're. I mean, that's why Joe Rogan's got a multi-$100 million contract because he's paid for a shill and disinformation agent. But these are the people we need to step up to the plate and do something, because if Joe Rogan talked about this today, man, all of a sudden millions of people would know about it. So until that happens, I mean, I don't know if we can get anybody to.
I'm talking about channels that have like several thousand that are watching, not those mega channels. I know.
Well, they're no different than Joe Rogan, though. Again, you see, if you're on YouTube and you still get views, that means YouTube tolerates you. YouTube destroyed my channel. I used to be able to get 1 million views back in 2016, 2017. Now I can get 5,000 views because of what they've done. The people who still exist are also shills, just like Joe Rogan. They're just on a lower tier, but they're the same type of disinformation.
I understand. I'm just saying to try to pull regular people in today off of these mid-sized channels.
Well, we have a pretty we're doing 3 streams right now. I'm guessing if I look, the majority of my views are on X right now on YouTube, but we're almost at 2,000 people in the live stream. Here, let me see how many of the viewers are on X, because YouTube makes sure nobody finds it. So we have almost 1,000 of the people on X, which means the other 1,000 are between 2 YouTube channels right now. But
okay, well, that was my only thought. Okay, thanks, Zach.
All right, appreciate it. Okay, all right. Let's not call in for a minute so that I can call the governor's office. Don't you love that it's 410, the governor's office? The big city there is Baltimore. All right. All right. We're just going to keep, when I call people on the phone, I just try to keep it simple with one consistent pattern. So we're just going to hit them with the 128. And maybe we'll bring up the funny thing about him being from Tacoma Park in light of the Tacoma Narrows bridge collapse. So.
This is Governor Westmore. Thank you for reaching out to my office. Please leave your name and reason for your call. One of my staff members will reach out to you as quickly as possible.
Yes, please give me a call back. This is Zachary K. Hubbard, the author of Number Games. My phone number is 509-585-8255. 560-4982. I'm calling about today's bridge collapse at 1:28 a.m., 128 days from the upcoming birthday of Francis Scott Key, which is August 1st. That'll be the anniversary. Today's also the 128th day of Joe Biden's age. And of course, he was in Pittsburgh to talk infrastructure the other year on January 28th, 128, when the Fern Hollow Bridge collapsed. And what I teach about is gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. A, B, C is 1, 2, 3, up to Z is 26. If you write out bridge collapse, it equals 128. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Z is 1 back to A is 26. Maryland is 128. And these rituals persist throughout history. So what I'm saying is this doesn't look like an accident. It looks like high ritual. And I'd really appreciate if the governor could look into it and educate his people in his state about what's really going on in this nation with what is true terrorism. I heard the authorities today say this looked like an accident. No, it's not. And I don't think it's an accident that you, the governor, are 45 years old right now, because the word bridge equals 45, and you're from Tacoma Park when the worst bridge collapse in U.S. history was the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. It really does look like high ritual, and you should see if you were selected for this ritual today. I'd really appreciate it. Again, give me a call back, 509-560-4982. Maybe pick up a couple of my books, Number Games, and pass them around to the people in your office, because there's high ritual going on in this nation and really this world each and every day, and people should be aware of this. Thank you very much. I hit pound to see. I guess it doesn't sound when you have pound. Maybe you just end the message. So, all right, let's try Nancy Pelosi's office. Let's try Nancy Pelosi. Old Nancy, it's her birthday from Baltimore. She's out there by that world famous Golden Gate Bridge. Nancy Pelosi. She's been glitching on TV. Well, that's the DC number. We can try the DC office. That's probably where she is. 202-225. What a number. 4965. Does Nancy even know it's her birthday today?
Thank you for calling the office of Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. We value hearing from you. To listen to this menu in English, please stay on the line. Para español, presione 5. If you would like to voice your opinion, share feedback, or pass along a personal story to Congresswoman Pelosi, please press 1. If you are a San Francisco... Thank you for calling the office of Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. If you would like to leave a comment on an issue, please do so at the tone.
Yes, I just want to wish a happy birthday to Nancy Pelosi. I know it's her birthday today, March 26th, and what a sad tragedy to happen on her 84th birthday today. Could you have Nancy look into the Salvador Dali painting, The Broken Bridge and the Dream? It's interesting that he died at age 84. Nancy's 84, and in her home city, the ship, the Dali, takes out a bridge. And this is one of the worst bridge disasters in U.S. history. Funny enough, the worst one of all time was the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which happened back in 1940, 84 years ago. And go figure that the governor of Maryland is from Tacoma Park. The other thing that's really curious is they said this bridge was impacted at 1:28 a.m., and today is 128 days from the birthday anniversary of Francis Scott Key, which will be later this year, August 1st. Today's also the 128th day of Joe Biden's age. And of course, Joe Biden was in Pittsburgh the other year to talk infrastructure when there was a bridge collapse on 1/28, January 28th. What I educate about, my name is Zachary K. Hubbard. I have a book, Number Games. I have another one, Letters, Numbers. What I educate about is how seemingly there's high ritual in this nation. Again, in Gematria, bridge collapse equals 128. Funny enough, the title, The Broken Bridge and the Dream, equals 128, the Dali painting. So please look into these things.
Press 1. To send your message as thanks. Your message was sent. Thanks for calling. Goodbye.
Okay, well, they'll know that somebody knows. So, Yeah, nobody picks up the phone anymore. Back in the day when we used to call mayor's office and governor's office and congressman office, people used to pick up the phone. We haven't been able to get through to anybody for a while. It's just always everything's automated. So I don't feel like I'm represented. I feel like I'm just talking to voice recordings. All right, yeah, I got to get back to work. We do got to take care of the sportsaholics. So for the sports enthusiasts, I might be a little bit late on the stream today. We normally start at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern, but it might be a little bit of a late start today. So again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. If you would like to help grow the work so we can get way more support, all the ways to support are in the description of this video. Again, a great way to support is purchasing the ebooks from my website. But yeah, it's a damn shame that we don't have the resources coming in like other YouTubers do who do not. I mean, I don't want to say it's even comparable. I mean, I'd say their work's a fraction as good. That's a misstatement. It's just like, you know how when most people's work is just a big fat zero because all it's doing is just like validating the lies, acting clueless about the news. Oh, this is crazy. I don't know why this happened. Over here every single day, we're just laying it down, what the ritual was, how obvious it is. And again, we have the knowledge that the people of the world deserve to know, because if everyone had this knowledge, they wouldn't be able to do this anymore. You know, everyone would just see through it all with laser vision. And that's why we're trying to put people up on game so that we can understand so that we can understand and stop the number games. Because literally that's what it is. Every day it's number games, but people's lives are on the line. And yeah, it's just, you know, if you were someone 4 years ago listening to the TV and getting all scared of the 99.9% survival illness and putting a slave muzzle over your face and going out and getting a Pfizer experimental jab, you really need this information, because you would have been like us. We were cool. We weren't scared of anything. We weren't compliant with any of the bullshit. And that's how everyone should have been. We could have just shut down the whole scam that it was, straight out of Switzerland. Well, one more call. What's up, 929?
Hey, good morning, Zach. I have one question.
Yep, what's your question?
Martin Lawrence Bad Boys 4 trailer came out a few hours ago. Is there any connections with what happened today?
So there's a new Bad Boys movie coming out with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith?
Yeah, the fourth one. Trailer came out a few hours ago.
I'll look into that. Martin Lawrence better look out. He's turning 59 this year. Again, he did the show Martin up in Detroit, Michigan, Motown since 59. That's been a fateful number for a lot of Black Americans. So look out, Martin.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because you said that a few weeks ago. But thank you, though.
Well, you know, I mean, again, Martin was a very popular sitcom among Black Americans. Baltimore is one of the blackest cities in America. So I'll look more into it. I don't have the answer right now.
All righty. Have a good one.
All right. Appreciate it. 347.
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. Yeah, I follow you on Patreon, but I wanted to tell you something, but I wanted to wait. You know what I mean? But I know there's a rapper mom that I know, and it's really big. She wants to know what really happened to her son. And I go to the anniversary every year. And I've been following you for 10 years, and the rapper that, you know, you did it the first time 10 years ago. And I wanted to tell her, but it was too many famous people around. So when I tried to tell her rappers about you, about, like, you know, the Gematria, how he died, they didn't believe me. But she wants to come on your platform. The anniversary is on May 17th. The rapper name is Chink Drugs. You know who I'm talking about? He was down with Prince Montana.
Yeah, of course. He got shot out in front of the studio.
Right. Now, his mom, if you go on YouTube, she says she wants French Montana and Diddy to tell her what happened to her son. I don't want to say my name, but I promise you, when I go May 17th, do you want to get on this to help your radio station? I've been listening for a while, and I just hear your voice. I'm like, fuck, this is the time to do it. So, you know, would you know, should she come?
I think that would be great. I think that would be great for getting out the truth and exposure to the work. So yeah, I'd love for her to come on. And
this is great. Yo, you don't know how much this ball appreciate her. Like she calls me her son because she like, you know, I rap too, but I stopped because ever since I've been listening to you and I see what you've been saying. So she just tell me take care of my kids, and that's what I've been doing. But I got her phone number. She always said, please, next year, please tell me. So I'm gonna pull it to the side.
And you know what I mean? It's May 17th, Chinks Drugs. The anniversary is on Queens Boulevard. I go every year, bro. Like, for real, Zach. And I got you this year, so please, I'm going to stay in contact with you.
Okay, just to remind people, just a real simple one about Chinks Drugs. He had one of those fateful rap names. Chinks Drugs equals 46 and 62 like sacrifice. Again, Genesis 46 begins with the sacrifice. It fits in with today's Baltimore story. You got dead people on the bridge. Today's 46 days from Salvador Dali's birthday. And his painting was the predictive programming for this. Over and over, we talk about the same numbers with death and ritual. And there's a lot more to the Chinks Drugs killing. I'll give it a new fresh look too and do a deeper decode on it. But yeah, if she can really come on May 17th, have her get in contact with me. Have her send me an email, GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com. I think that would be great.
I'm on Patreon with you, bro. Yeah, we good. I've been following you for 10 years, Zach. We good, bro. I just hear you, and I've been wanting to say this forever, but I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not.
All right. Well, I appreciate you helping spread the word and that you have contact with her mother. And yeah, if you can get that lined up, that'd be great. May 17th.
Do you receive texts on here?
What?
Do you receive text messages on this phone?
I do. I get a lot of them though on this number, so it's hard for me to keep up for long. But I'll look for you from the 347 area code.
All right, thank you, Zach. You have a good day. I'm with you, bro. I got you.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. Now, again, shameless promotion for Monero Coffee. Again, they are the first sponsor of the program, and we haven't even signed the contract yet, but they sent me some free coffee in a mug, and I don't care. Again, for all you guys who drink coffee, stop supporting these evil chains like Starbucks and all these big mega corporations that rule over us. Support a local startup who's willing to give a small donation to a truth seeker. But anyway, eventually I'll have an affiliate link for it. But yeah, if you want to check out that Monero Coffee Company, if you drink coffee, again, stop spending your money on the evil empire. Support small business. Monero Coffee's it. The cool thing I can say about the free coffee they sent me, I'm no coffee snob, and I'm being perfectly honest. If I drink a 7-Eleven coffee, a Starbucks coffee, a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, a Folgers coffee, I can't taste the difference. To me, it's coffee. I just drink my coffee black. It all pretty much tastes the same to me. The only time I can really tell the difference is if it's old, right? I can't really tell the difference between coffee. I don't have the taste buds for it. But what I can tell you is cool about this Monero brand, I'm just going to be perfectly real. On the label, they tell you everything about where the coffee came from, exactly where it came from, the elevation it was grown at. I kind of like that. I like knowing where my food came from, or my coffee beans. But yeah, check out that company, Monero Coffee. Eventually, I'll have an affiliate link, and I think you'll get a discount or something. But it's the first sponsor I've allowed on this program, and the reason I allowed the sponsorship is because the guy who does the marketing actually watches my channel. I've been offered a whole bunch of sponsorships over the years, and I've always said no. But this guy was a legitimate truth seeker and down for the cause. So you want to check out Monero Coffee. You know, they're a small startup trying to make something happen. Life-changing knowledge. I appreciate that. Yes, again, 128th day of Biden's age. Thank you again, Amy. Bad Boys 4 trailer. I will look into it. I'm sure it is synced up with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Who remembers Will Smith's slap of Chris Rock by the numbers that was synced up with Sidney Poitier, who died at 94 right before the 94th Oscars? And didn't we predict that Sidney Poitier was going to die at 94? How tragic. His first movie about saving Catholic nuns that's 94 minutes long. Here's a risk. No caller ID. Let's see if no caller ID is a troll or somebody actually trying to help the show. No caller ID. Yeah, what's up?
You that it was cute of you to delete an hour of that stream the other day where a bunch of trolls called.
Nobody deleted any stream. All right, you're a troll. Nobody deleted any hour of stream. Go away and make up stories somewhere else, loser. Ava Moon says the order out of KOZ is always in March. It's not always in March Madness. No, I have to disagree. These people are doing order out of chaos stuff all the time. But there is usually something going down in this time of year, no doubt about it. Always around the spring equinox. The order out of chaos is always in March Madness, leading up to the real springtime day, April Fool's Day. Again, I appreciate the donation, but these people are doing rituals all around the year. Like, for example, was September 11th in March? Was what they just did on Christmas Day in Tennessee in March? Was Oklahoma City in March? You know, I could give you a big ritual they did in every month, almost damn near every day of the year over the last 100 years. So, but yeah, they do like this time of year, though. I hear your point on that. Thank you, Leslie Margarita. Appreciate that. And shout out to Sashetta with the big donation. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're behind the work. Thank you, and you're welcome. And by the way, I got my first. I'll tell you. I got to tell you one more funny thing. Okay, you guys. If you ever send weed in the mail, the reason I'm going to this is because somebody sent me some weed in the mail. The first thing I got at my P.O. box was a nice weed, little baggie. I got to tell you how to send weed in the mail. It's illegal to send weed in the mail, first of all. It's illegal. But if you ever send weed in the mail, you have to put it in a turkey bag. Because if you put it in a turkey bag, no smell gets out. And it's good that we live in this age, because yesterday when I got the package from my P.O. box, it didn't fit in the P.O. box, so they had to hold it in the back room. When the guy brought it up to me, he was smiling and grinning. I'm out here in Washington State where almost everybody smokes now. But as he brings the box to me, he's like, this box has a interesting aroma. And I smelled it too. I was like, well, I know what's in here. Again, you guys, be careful, because you can get in trouble for that, sending weed in the mail. If you ever send weed in the mail, realize it's something illegal. You can't get in big trouble, but make sure you put that in a turkey bag. It is the only thing that will keep the smell from getting out. And don't ask me how I know that, but I know that. So, yeah, anyway. And also shout out to that person to be the first person to send something to my P.O. box. And, yeah, it was a nice, humorous moment at the post office, and I'm glad the guy was cool, because it could have been a problem. That's a nice aroma. So, yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it. But, again, turkey bag. If you don't know what a turkey bag, look it up. They come in a 3-pack usually in the store. They usually cost around $2. You get 3 of them. No smell gets out of that. So, turkey bag, turkey bag, turkey bag, turkey bag. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, you guys. And, again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Until next time.